We are back again, people. Welcome back to 12th Man. The Arsenal roundabout is back. And do you know what? We've got a good panel tonight. I'm liking who's on. Big up to North, back again. Make sure you check out Northside's channel earlier. Me and North were going back and forth. It was a nice hour of therapy. It was well needed. And I felt better after it, man. So big up to him. Great to see you again, my bro. How are you, mate?
Now, big up, man. Love for jumping on the channel. Big up to everyone. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. Hit the like button up as well. Don't be stingy with the likes. And big up DJB, Kenny, Lee, Potts. Thank you for having me on. And yeah, man, it's going to be good, man. It's going to be good.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Big up to Lee as well, as always. Big up for the raid, bro. How was the watch along, mate?
Stinker and hooks everywhere. Arsenal had 2 shots on target, 10 corners. They need a set piece coach down. Maybe they should buy a cat and call it trophies or something, or fucking. Sorry for swearing. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know, Dan. It was like watching Arsenal men's team, if I'm honest. Big up the panel. Big up the chat. Big up Dan always.
Love, man. Nah, come on. Ken in the house. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right, but you know, I still can't get back those 90 minutes from Sunday. It was awful. You know, for 2 top best teams in London, I use the term loosely, to produce that, it's embarrassing. And for people to just try and get the positives out of that rubbish, it's unbelievable. But people do have profiles to enhance. People do have things to say. I mean, oh God, it's really bad football. Awful. 2 very, very bad teams, very bad football. And all I can say to Arsenal fans, in 3 weeks' time, get to the ground early, leave work early, enjoy yourself, make a right atmosphere of it, because that's the last excitement you're ever going to get at the Emirates Stadium. Because I'll tell you one thing, after the 8th of April, it's going to be downhill in terms of atmosphere and performances, because this season has just been a complete and utter waste of time.
It has, and I think it's a write-off at the moment. It's literally Real Madrid, and that's it. And I think we all know what's going to be happening there. DJB, back in the house. How are you, my friend?
All right, my friend. Yeah, a bit like Kenny. I've just I've sent an email to Arsenal Football Club to tell them to put my sleeping bag in storage during the international break.
And, honestly, man,
I might
crazy.
Ask them, yeah, I might. They might have to just bring it. Well, they might have to bring it out against the Real Madrid game, but they said they're going to keep it safe for me for the rest of the season, so that's all right. No, it's been a season. It's been a season to forget so far, to be honest. It's not been one of my favourite seasons to remember.
No, it has. It has. Listen, people, you're all calling for him. There's no Egal tonight, but Christian's going to be on around about half hour. He's just finishing football, and then he'll be jumping on as well. So you will get a little bit more of a balanced opinion from him, but from us, it's probably going to be very similar, to be fair. So we'll see where we go. Before we go any further, please make sure you do me a favour and support Football Prizes, who sponsor tonight's show. For just 39 pence, you can get the Arsenal Mega Deal competition. And some of these players are legends of the club. Some of them are current players, of course. But please make sure that you get in for the chance to win 47 instant win prizes. You can just for 39p get yourself in with a chance to win. The Henry and Bergkamp, we've got current players like Saliba, Martinelli, Saka. We've also got Vieira, Pires. And we've got Kenny's one, which we'll be loving, which is the Fabregas LED frame, which I'm sure Kenny will be going in for. But no, in all seriousness, guys, make sure you get over to Football Prizes. Links in the description. Make sure you are in for this one, because this is the biggest one that they've done. It closes in 10th of April, so it's only for this literally coming a few weeks. So please make sure you get involved with that one. Big up to them as well for supporting and showing us some love. So go show them some love. We're going to be talking tonight about Gabriel and the links to Saudi. Ben Jacobs has apparently announced it tonight. Whether you believe he's reliable or not is up to you to decide. Saka, Saliba and Gabriel all to be offered new deals is what we are hearing, or they definitely do need to be offered new deals. There's only 2 years left, so we're going to be talking about that. We are going to talk about our summer and Alexander Isak rumours. Is he staying? Is he going? Is there a chance that he comes to Arsenal? Because according to Romano, he's our top target, and we're going all out for him. Now, I was on Gal's channel not long ago, and he was getting very excited, as he normally does, telling me that it's going to be an unbelievable summer and that £300 million is going to be spent because we have the two words, war and chest, have come back out. And this time it's 300 million. It's not 250 million anymore, North, which is what we talked about in your show. It's now 300, bruv. So it goes up with inflation. It goes up every year, it seems. But DJ, let me come to you first of all on the links to these three players that we have to be giving new deals to. They've got 2 years left, right? Saka, Saliba, Gabriel. It is actually Martinelli on top of that as well. A lot of people are saying that Andrea Berta's most important job is to actually get these guys tied down to a new contract. Now, obviously, on top of that, we have to get players. I think the two go hand in hand, right? So hear me out. If I'm William Saliba right now, I ain't signing anything. And I'll tell you why I'm not signing anything. One, Real Madrid are sniffing around me, and they're the best club that's existed and the best club in the world. They're guaranteed me trophies, and I'm 23 years old. I'm looking at the last 5 years at the club that I've been at, whether it be out on loan or whether it be staying and playing in the last 3 years as he has, and it ain't won anything. I'm staying put until I see what the hell they're doing in the summer. And I'm not signing anything until I believe that the summer window is proving to me that it's got the ambition to get us across the line for a Premier League trophy, a trophy in itself, or a Champions League. Now, the problem with that is, if we do start allowing these guys to wait, it won't be long before 12 months to 18 months goes across the line. And down the line, we're in a Van Dijk, Trent and Salah situation with these three players, who, let's be real, are probably our three best players, right? So what's going to happen here? And do you have faith that we'll be able to keep hold of these three on long-term contracts, DJ?
Well, it's a difficult one, but I mean, one thing's for sure, these are probably the three most valuable assets that we must try and sort of contracts out with. And we can't afford to let it go too long, because it's going to end up, we're going to end up losing a lot of money on them. As for Saliba, I think he's going to stall. I don't think he's going to be eager to sign a contract. I think he knows that there are clubs flying around for him, not just Real Madrid. I think there'll be a number of clubs that be interested in him. And I think he's just going to wait and see how it all pans out in the summer. Because let's be fair, at the moment, if you're someone like Saliba, then you're probably looking to see how the next season goes with this Berta coming in, and to see if we can get something done major. That's what we need. We need, we don't need a project. We need someone to come in that's going to come in and hit the ground running. And I think the players are aware of it now. They've sort of been strangled really this season. So yeah, I mean, for me, Saliba will definitely hold out. As for Gabriel, with the Saudi link, I can't really look into that too much. But then the Saudis do have a lot of money to throw at players, and heads will be turned, because they can, money's no object. You're talking millions and millions of pounds a week, and no clubs can compete with that. So obviously, if the Saudi club does come in for Gabriel, his head will be turned. And again, it depends on our ambition and the way we're going to go to see if we can nail him down. Saka as well, I think it's important that we nail him down. And again, he's going to be obviously looking, just because he's our homegrown talent and he's our star boy and everything else. Players want to win trophies, and we haven't got a divine right to keep this player. So he's going to be another one that we're going to need to get on the table and get a deal done. As for Martinelli, I think he'll be sold. I think Martinelli is going to be one of these players that is going to go up for sale. I think if we've got money to spend in the summer to bring players in, I think the likes of Martinelli, Trossard will probably be the two players I think will be sold. But no, definitely, man. Definitely Saliba, Gabriel has got to be done quick. I wouldn't even let it run down to a year left. I'd get it done within the next. I'd be looking towards, early next season to get them round the table and just to have a little chat with them to see where they want to go. Because as
Yeah.
you said, then, 12 months will soon be gone. It'll be another season off. It'll be another season ticked off, and then they've got a year's contracts left. And then it can be quite hair raising if we do let them go for cheap. That's not good. It's definitely not what Arsenal Football Club need at the moment.
No. Kenny, let me ask you this. We've got these three players. I keep bringing in Martinelli for the fourth as well, but like DJ says, he's not quite, in my opinion, as important as the other three in terms of what they mean to the squad. What sort of price are we going to have to give to these if they're happy to stay? Because a lot of people are sort of saying that we pay for Havertz and we overpay for Jesus. They're definitely going to want minimum of what they're on, if not more. Can you see all three of them being offered that and wanting that much? And do you think the club would pay that much for these three?
No, not at all. Well, you only have to sort of rewind back to the situation with Alexis Sanchez and Mesut Ozil. Both of those players were in the last year of their contracts in 2017. Both of them were asked for £300,000 per week. Only one of them stayed at the football club. One of them was offered Man City offered 60 million for one of them. Arsenal said no. By January, we did a swap deal for one of them to go to Man United. The other one stayed at for 350. Whether he was value for money, that's open to debate. Football clubs in general, it's not just Arsenal, but football clubs in general, you can give one player that amount of money. To give it to three people, I just can't see it happening. It just isn't going to happen. No football club is going to give three players £350,000 per week. It's just unrealistic. Even if the finances are there, it's just not going to do that. I think the player
saying that, Kenny, why do we then put people like Zinchenko on 150 and Martinelli on 180 if we're not going to be putting them on this is what makes no sense so far with this club.
Yeah, but that's you've got to remember with Arsenal Football Club. Arsenal Football Club do things 5 years after other clubs. If you look at Arsenal Football Club, it's only recently that we have been paying players the money that they're getting at other big clubs. Remember, Arsenal can't get away with saying there's no money. They've been in European football for quite a while. They're in the Champions League for the last 2 years. They've got millions upon millions of pounds in merchandise, millions upon millions of pounds of TV money. So you can't get away with saying you can't pay these players the money. And when players negotiate new contracts, that's what you've virtually given them what they ask for, especially if you want to keep them or you definitely want to buy them. That's the way football is now. In terms of the player that I'll give to £350,000 a week, there's only one player who's going to be getting it. It's the guy Saka. I think the reason why I'm saying that is because traditionally defenders, as good as they are, they're not match winners. And that's not taking a dig at Saliba, because I really rate Saliba really highly. I've got a lot of respect for, Gabriel Magalhaes, but if you think who's Arsenal's best player, who's a player that you think can take us that next level, and also from a business point of view, who's a player that can bring in most merchandise? Well, if I was to crack an egg and see what the results is, well, Bukayo Saka is the result, because Bukayo Saka will put bums on seats, he will bring in merchandise, and he's our best player. But to give the other three money, I don't see the club doing it. But if they do it, that's fantastic. But if I go back on experience, no, it didn't happen, because Alexis Sanchez and Mesut Ozil were bigger stars. That's not even to be disputed. That's just facts. Only one of them stayed, and only one of them was offered the £350,000. Both of them wanted 350 for 300. Only one of them got it.
Look, I don't know what your thoughts are about this, North. I think, the links today, obviously, with Gabriel going to Saudi is really an interesting one for me as well, because obviously last season he was dropped, if you remember, for the first couple of games, because there was clearly some form of link there. I don't know if you believe those rumours, if you think that's potentially on the cards, but what do you make of this contract situation with the three of them, bro? Well, the four of them, Martinelli as well.
Yeah, I think the most likely player to stay probably is Saka. English players don't really like to travel abroad. Like traditionally, They like to stay in the English league, like to stay in the Prem. So more than likely, it'd probably be Saliba Gabriel to move on and Saka to stay on and get the big contract. Ultimately, we don't know. We don't know what motivates these players. You know what I mean? We don't know what motivates these players or who's behind the scenes really calling the shots in their career. You look at Harry Kane and the way that his brother dealt with his career, it was poor. You look at João Felix, whoever's dealing with his career, you'd say, oh, it looks like they're chasing the bag more than they're chasing the best move for the player. So there's too many things that go into it. Who's dealing with their contracts? Who's dealing with their career? Have they got the best interest? What does the player really want out of their career? Do they want the bag? Do they want success or silverware? For me, I think the foreign players will more than likely. I think Brazilian players, French players, they want to play for Real Madrid. They want to play for big teams. Saliba being linked to Real Madrid, they want to go. You know, not saying that Saka doesn't, but at the same time, I can see Saka having more of an affinity to want to stay in the UK than somebody like Gabriel or Saliba, you know, in my opinion. Also, I think as well, where you're from comes into it as well. Saliba's, you know, obviously he's French. If he wants to be remembered as a French, great. The bar's high. The bar is extremely high. So he even said in the interview that, listen, I can't be one of the best centre backs in the world if I have not won a trophy. So that's the kind of mentality he's coming from France. People can talk about Ligue 1. French players have got elite mentality, you know, from the likes of Zidane, Thierry Henry, the list goes on, Makelele, etc. So the list of him being remembered as a French great, not just as a football great, he knows he has to win the major honours. Yeah, he knows what the standards are from his nation, and to be selected for the French national team as well. One of the hardest national teams to get into, let's be real. So if he wants to get into the French national team, then he's going to have to be at the best clubs, winning the biggest major honors to consistently get there. They produce a lot of talent. So I think that goes into it. The Brazil, I mean, Brazil are all over the place, not the same level as a French team. So in that aspect, different, but still, if he wants to be a Brazilian great, I mean, the list goes on, innit? You know what I mean? I know he's not an attacker, but Rivaldo, Ronaldinho, R9, Adriano, like the list goes on, innit? Do you know what I mean? Zico, it goes on. So I think they both they come from nations where they understand what it means to be remembered and to be an elite for their nation. And they know they need to be at clubs that are winning elite major honors. Where Saka comes from a nation where, as long as you're in a Head and Shoulders advert, you're all right. You know what I mean? That's the reality. As long as you know, getting that dandruff out of your hair, then it's okay. Or maybe in a Lucozade advert, you know, because over here it's not about, you know, winning and a lot. Yeah, it is what it is. This is the history of England. This is the history of England in international football. Let's be honest. You know, a lot of English people, to be fair to them, the standards have risen. They're saying they're giving up with the national team. But he's star boy. You're going to get selected for England just because you play for Arsenal. Let's be real. You know, how many times we said Ivan Toney should get more minutes? Why didn't he get it? Because he's at Brentford. I think all these things go into why players move or not. Am I going to get into my national team? Will I be remembered with the greats? Am I going to be able, me not winning major honours, will I still be getting big contracts? People talking about Saka being one of the best and being world class. He ain't even won a major honour. That's the difference from being a British player and being a Brazilian player or being a French player. You ain't going to be remembered in those countries. You ain't winning the major honours. Edu won a major honour with Arsenal. He's not remembered like that in Brazil. That's the levels. And I think all of this goes into why players make certain decisions. Do you know what I mean? I think the heritage of the nations that they come from. And I think people underestimate that, you know, because they've got family, they know their heritage. You think Saliba can go back to France and say, oh, I'm one of the best in the world. And you think his family are going to say, what did you win? What did you win? We've had Anelka. We've had Thierry Henry. Who are you? You know what I'm saying? This is what they're going to be saying to him. And I think this goes down to the mentality of the nation you're from, where Saka, he cannot win anything, yeah, and he'll still be celebrated, still be propped up by football fans. He deserves a new contract. Still go like a Harry Kane, money after money, best in the world, not 1-0, get into the England team. Yeah, certain other players performing, he'll get into it just because he's playing for Arsenal. So I think in the end, Saka stays. The other two eventually leave. Saka first, Saliba first, and then Gabriel. I don't think they'll stay. I think Saka's going to probably be the one to stay. If any of them stay, I'll end on this. Any of those three players stay, yeah, they're certified losers for me. If this manager's not sacked at the end of the season and they sign new contracts, certified losers. If people want to say that Harry Kane's a loser because they're not winning anything, well, guess what? We're not winning anything. So if they want to stay here under this regime of not winning anything and not going to a Real Madrid or a big club that's going to win, you're a loser. And for that, I don't want you at the club because you're not here for the reasons that I want. You know, so it is where it is. If Saka or Saliba Gabriel sign a new contract, I actually want them out because it shows me a lot about their character and what they're in the game for. And for me, it's not trophies.
Listen, I hear all of that, to be fair, and I think you make a great point at the end there, to be fair. Let me bring in a couple of super chats before we come to guns. Make sure you're hitting the like button, subscribe button, people. There's well over 1,000 of you in here already, which is mad. Make sure that you're single one of these. Kenny Ken on Instagram, Northside LDN on YouTube, Lee Reacts. Let's make sure that we get all of these guys up to the next target. And make sure we get us up to the big 4-0, which is our next target. So hit the like and subscribe, people. This is from Netweed. P.S. Liverpool didn't bottle anything. Slot machine has bigger fish to fry. Simple. To be fair, they're going to get it across the line, that's for sure. Suj says, big up Dan, the panel and the community. Hit the like and subscribe, people. There's 1.2k in here now, not 700. So we need to be up at 500 likes. Let's get to 1,000 likes. Let's just get this stream to 1,000 likes, people. Come on. We know you can all do it. Guns, let me ask you, bro, because there's a lot of talk that you and I do in our Wednesday shows about the futures of these players. North makes a good point. If we ain't winning, I don't see how we can be guaranteed to keep hold of these. And I was having a chat with Igal about this a while ago, and he said he thinks they'll all stay because Arteta's staying. Now, he's then saying that Arteta goes, then they're all going to go. How much that do you actually believe? Like, is that serious?
Sorry, who said that?
Igal.
Oh, okay. Igal also said that if this manager, he said it earlier on, never a foul, that if this manager gets what he wants in the summer, then we're going to walk the title. Walk the title. So, listen, I don't know. I don't know what he's got in that shisha, bruv, but it's not shisha. Like, real talk. No, Dan, I'll be honest with you, yeah? And Hooks is in the chat as well, yeah? We need to do a show at some point. He texted me. You didn't text me back, though. Yeah, because I'll cook you as well. Yeah, because you're turning into a top gooner as well. Like, at the end of the day, everything the lads have just said, and everything you said at the very beginning as well, I totally agree. Yeah, and what Northside just ended on a second ago, if these players stay, and this manager's still here going into next season, then you got to question their mentality. Because Gabriel Magalhaes is 27 years old. He ain't won nothing. Yeah, he ain't won nothing. Yeah, people want to bang on about how it's the most physical league and you know, it's only a short career and all of this and that. Well, how long is he going to carry on playing for then? Yeah, and I know there's examples of centre-backs that have played into their late 30s. Sergio Ramos is still playing, so on and so forth, yeah? But that's in other leagues that are deemed not good enough compared to ours. So how long does Gabriel Magalhaes stay at Arsenal when, by the way, he's been here for, what, 5 years? He was one of Arteta's first signings, I think. He's been here 5-6 years. How long does he keep staying there without winning nothing? How many years does he keep going? Yeah, getting close and then not winning nothing. Throwing the cups in the bin as well, by the way, along the way to get close to them not win the major. Yeah, I say this to a gal. I say this to you guys on the shows all the time. And I say in the chat now, yeah? I'm going to say it again, though. Well, it's like going to a club as a virgin, right? And trying to pull the 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Yeah, when you're a virgin. You need to do the fat thing. You need to do the ugly thing. You need to do, like, no, real talk. Like, you need to do the 4 out of 10, the 7 out of 10. Work your way up, get a bit of experience, right? And we ain't done any of that in these cup competitions. This manager's won the cup, fair play to him. Yeah, but that's 6 FA Cups ago, Dan. He's won 2 cup games in the FA Cup since then, Crystal Palace and Oxford. These players have then been in a title race, sorry, a top 4 race that they bottled, 4 points ahead with 9 points available. Yeah, and lost that. Conte, what phase was he in? Right, then, yeah, they've been in a title race 2 years in a row before this season. 8-point bottle job. And then last season didn't bother turning up when it mattered against Aston Villa. They're losing away to Fulham and all of these other teams that we lost to. Then this season, yeah, after they got to the last day of the season, and again, it was another con job. Yeah, because we just pammed the teams we should have pammed after we went to Dubai. Yeah, which is why I got pissed off, about the Dubai trip this year. We went to Dubai this year because we threw both them cups in the bin. Last year we went because it was it was a winter break. Yeah, so go and have your break, go and recharge the batteries. Boom, let's chill. Yeah, get back up to speed. And we came back and started slapping everyone. But then when the chips were down, he reverted back to type, this manager. Yeah, we lost to Aston Villa at home. Unacceptable. Yeah, it's not the first time, by the way, he's lost his manager at home. Yeah, it's not the first time he's lost to Aston Villa at home. Yeah, he lost 3-0 against Dean Smith's Aston Villa at home. Yeah, do you know what I mean? But it's like, when you look at some of these players, it's like, we've seen this with Liverpool. Yeah, they've got 3 players. Yeah, that a gal openly said earlier, and a lot of other fans in our fan base will say they're world class. Trent, Van Dijk, and Salah. They're all out of contracts in the summer. They're apparently the difference. That's why we can't beat them, because Salah's on smoke. Okay, cool. Well, we've known Salah's been in the Prem for how many years? Why didn't we do anything about it? Yeah, and these players have openly come out, some of them, this season. Declan Rice. Yeah, surely we're going to do something in the window. Yeah, we need reinforcements. His words, paraphrasing slightly. We've heard Bukayo Saka come out this season, pitch side on TNT after a game and say, well, yeah, obviously I like to go forward more, but the manager wants me to defend. These players ain't stupid, bro. Yeah, these players are not stupid. When Gabriel goes to a Brazil national duty, he's sitting there with Vinny Jr., Rodrigo, Militao. They've won everything. They've won, well, apart from with their nation, but they've won it all. They've won Champions Leagues. They've won multiple leagues. They've won 3 trophies last season. Where's your medals, mate? Yeah, Jesus is in our team. He's in our squad. He's won everything, apart from champs. Yeah, but he's won a lot of trophies, Dan. And lads, yeah,
same with Mbappe and Saliba as well, man.
Yeah, but now put Saka into that conversation. The 3 we're talking about. Yeah, when he goes to international duty, he's sat next to Phil Foden and Jude Bellingham. Phil Foden's won more trophies, Premier League trophies, forget the rest for a second, more Premier League trophies than I've seen in my life Arsenal win, like league titles. I've seen this win 5. He's won 6. He's 24 or 23. He's won 6. Like, he's sitting there thinking, well, hang on a minute. Yeah, well, we didn't do it for England. We got to a couple of finals. So now if you think if you're Saka, yeah, you've got to a final twice with England and lost. You've not won the title 2 years straight. Yeah, this season we fell off a cliff. Make up whatever excuse you want. And he's bottled the top 4 as well. When we see this with Liverpool under Klopp, when they got the 97, yeah, and the 92 or whatever it was points, they were still cleaning up. And I want to read this stat very quickly, Dan, if I can, yeah? And I know I'm going on a bit of a monologue, yeah? These players are not dumb. Me personally, I think they all leave at some point. I think they all leave. Maybe Saka might stay. Yeah, maybe he'll stay for his entire career. And if he does, then, well, cool, whatever, innit? Yeah, but Saliba and Gabriel are gone. And it wouldn't surprise me one bit, yeah, if they both end up at Real Madrid. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Yeah, because they got the money, Dan. They need defenders.
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find this picture.
Which would be awful for us. I mean, having the best 2 that we've had in a long time, and they both go Real Madrid. And you can see why they both want them as well, because people talk about Rudiger and Asensio and Militao. Militao gets injured. Rudiger's not getting any younger. And Asensio, well, we don't know what's happening with him.
Well, he's just been called up to Spain, but Alaba's ancient as well. Well, not ancient, but he's on the way out. This is a comment, yeah, from Kenny's mate, Team India, back-to-back World Tournament. He put this in my comment section the other day, yeah. He said, evening, some Arsenal fans laugh at Liverpool winning 1 league title in 30 years. In that 30 years, Liverpool won 4 League Cups, 3 FA Cups, 2 Champions League, 1 Europa League, 1 World Cup, Club World Cup, and 2 UEFA Super Cups, plus that league title. Yeah? In 20 years, what have Arsenal won? Fuck all. Soon to be 5 FA Cups, because you can take 2005 into that. Yeah, so as it stands right now, it's 4 FA Cups. Look what they've won. So whilst we all laugh at them for not winning the league, cool, fantastic, whatever. They've still picked up trophies, Dan. We're picking up nothing. Yes, we can all laugh at Chelsea. £1 billion bottle jobs and all that crap. Well, this manager does another 250 mil. He's now £1 billion bottle job as well.
That's what I said to them.
And not only that, yeah, Chelsea, yeah, totally eclipsed Yeah, totally eclipsed our European pedigree and history. Yeah, with Tommy Tuchel inside 14 months. Yeah, after sacking Graham Potter. So when people want to sit here and talk about managers, this and that, manager this, manager that, yeah, well, how about who's a realistic option? Well, how about we go and get Philippe Luis then? Because he's just won his third trophy, yeah, in 6 months in charge of Flamengo. Yeah. Yeah, he lost 1 out of 26 games and he's won 3 trophies. What phase is he in? Never managed before. I'm sick to death of it, Dan, yeah? And I hope, yeah, 2 things. Number 1, we don't give this geezer a single penny this summer. But if we do and he's still here, go and get him Isak, go and get him Zubimendi, go and get him Nico Williams, go and get him all the fucking players he wants, yeah? And this fan base got nowhere to hide.
Facts. Big up to my boy Premsy in the house. I hope you're well, man. We need to get you back on here, man. I know things have been busy. Love Prems. Ligana, stop being grumpy. We have Mika Marino as our new striker for next season. Well, we might have him up top for Real Madrid, that's for sure.
I'll tell you what, the bird up front for Leon tonight, she's a better striker than all of us, and they can all cross the ball. This is women's football. Leon will play us off the park.
That's how bad it's got. DJ, on Saka, obviously we know and we've spoken about the futures of them and how we need to get it sorted. But we also need to talk about how this guy is implemented back into the side. Now, me and Curtis were on a show yesterday on here talking about it. We were flip-flopping and hypocritically talking about what we do. 1 minute, I don't want him to play. Next minute, I do want to see him. 1 minute, I don't want to see him. So he gets injured. Next minute, I'm thinking, ain't got no chance without him to play him. I'm all over the place with it, bruv. Talk to me. What are you saying about Saka's return, mate? Because apparently John Cross reckons he could actually play after the international break on the bench against Fulham and then Everton and then ready to start against Madrid. What are you saying?
Me personally, Dan, I wouldn't risk him. The season's done. We're not going to beat Real Madrid with Saka fully fit. So what's the point of risking him when he's just come back? There's no point. The only time I'd risk him is probably bring him on towards the end of the season, Southampton, something like that, give him a run out, see how he goes. I would keep him where he is. What's the point? Because if he's rushed back in a situation, in a high-pressured game like Real Madrid, right? Because let's face it, that's going to be a high-pressured game. His adrenaline's going to be absolutely pumping because of the occasion and everything else. And we all know the injury he's had. He's had a horrific injury. Let's not gloss it over. His injury has been horrific. It was a hamstring that was torn completely off of basically his leg. He's had a surgery that's been pretty heavy. And if we're going to rush him back to try and basically in a game that we've got no chance in, or very little chance, should I say, then there's no point, man. For me, he needs to be fully rested. He needs to be fully recovered, because I think we've got to be looking towards next season now. I honestly think this season's done. I think we've got to be looking towards next season. And if we're looking towards next season, then we need the likes of Saka 100% fit. There's no good in coming back, rushing back, pulling his hamstring again. There's just no point. There's no point. So, there's no point. So if you play him against Real Madrid, to me, you're not going to get the Saka that we all know how he can play. And it's a game that we're not going to win anyway. So for me, I would keep him on the bench. He's gone. So, I mean, do you know what I mean? It's crazy. I mean, it's absolutely crazy.
Potter's obviously gone to the bathroom, always scared of a top gooner turning up. So.
Sorry, boys. I just got caught short, and there you go. Look, let's. I see Hooks in the chat. I dropped him a line, said, "Do you want to jump on?" Before I come to you, Hooks, I'm going to ask Kenny his thoughts, and then we'll come to you and Guns. Christian will be here as well soon. He's literally just driving back for football now. But Kenny, I wanted to ask you before I bring Hooks in. I wanted to ask you about the situation with Saka, because
Mm.
you and I know, speak to other people away from the YouTube stuff, to be honest. And Andy spoke to me the other day and said, "Oh, Kenny's worried about Saka. He's well over the top about it. He thinks that if we play him, he's going to get crocked, rah, rah, rah." And I said that I understood where you're coming from. Now, all I will say about the Saka situation is this. I personally feel like we got a better chance of doing something well with Saka playing. Having said that, and in defence of that, where my head's at is this going to be the Saka that I know and love? And I ain't got a clue. Yeah, I ain't got a clue. Now, we've seen Elise come back from it and he's looking pretty good, but we've seen players of old go and just completely mess up the whole of their career and never be quite the same player again. So where you at with this one, bruv? What would you do? What would you like to see happen?
Well, you talk about Elise, coming back as good as new. He hasn't come back to the Premiership, has he? Where the football's intense, where you have to run for 90 minutes. You have to track back. You have to do as much work without the ball as you do with the ball. He's gone to the Bundesliga, and I'm not by any means saying German football isn't, like as good as the Premier League. But one thing I would say is that the other European leagues, they don't have the same intensity, frenetic style of football that we have in the Premiership. It doesn't matter whether we're all playing the ball on the floor, whether we're all inverting, whether we're all playing low blocks. We still do it at greater speed than our cousins in Europe. Now, I'm not putting Alicia down because he's a player that I've really loved watching. And, going to Bayern Munich is a win-win for him. He is going to go to a team where he's going to win the majority of his games. He is going to win medals eventually. This season, he will win medals. So 100% that. But in terms of Bukayo Saka, you're asking a player to come back in not just for the Real Madrid game. I'm assuming you're going to want him for the rest of the season. You're asking a player that's got a grade-3 tear, not a hamstring, strain, but a top-level tear to come back and play a game of intensity, where it's highly likely that even if we do play in a Bernabeu, we're going to be running off the ball, trying to, like I said, press our immediate opponent. And we've got to do that for 90 minutes. And who knows, we could be playing for 210 minutes. Because obviously with extra time, it could get penalties. Do you seriously think you're going to see the best of our best player? Because if you are, you're a bunch of pork chops, because it's not going to happen. He, at best, Saka, at best, is 20% fit. If you're going to play him, it's good dereliction of duty. In fact, it's basically like, it's abuse. Don't play the lad. The season's done. Stop trying to kid yourselves and go, "Oh, we got a chance for Real Madrid." Yeah, we've got a chance because we it's going to be 11 against 11. We're all going to do the same thing: put our shorts on, put our boots on. Walk, hit a Champions League anthem, and then we kick off, and then it becomes, David versus Goliath. Why risk him for the rest of the season? We know we kind of know where we are going to be this season. We know we're probably going to comfortably qualify for the top 4. We're not winning anything. We're not winning the league. Real Madrid, even our best team, they're not pork chops. Everyone thinks, "Oh, let's play Real Madrid. Oh, they're going to attack and we're going to hit them with space." Did you see the Champions League final in 2022? Did you see the Champions League final in 2024? Are they mad? They're going to play low block and just get the job done and get rid of us and go on and play a tournament. But I'm telling you now, I beseech all Arsenal fans, please, please, please stop going your podcast to talk absolute rubbish. The guy isn't fit. Don't listen to Johnny Cross. Johnny Cross's job is to create headlines. You all know that when you're the chief journalist of a newspaper, it's not just match day now these days. Commenting on a match. You've got to have a headline and a storyline 7 days a week. Well, this is a massive storyline. Arsenal fans are talking about it. I've heard Mikel Arteta not deny it. Of course, Mikel Arteta's not going to say, "I won't risk him," because simple reason, he wants Arsenal fans to believe that there's a chance of us beating Real Madrid or a chance of us reigniting our season. He's not stupid. He's not a fool. He's an optimistic manager, spreading optimism amongst the football fans. But any football fan who claims to know football and claims to know about injuries, if you think that it's okay to play a player, your best player, when he's not even 20% fit, and expect it to go well, I think you've been watching too much Play School, mate. I think CBeebies has, have been watching. I think it's too much Button Moon, Battle of Planets, or maybe a bit of Chakanori, or the Night Garden. You need to get in the real world, mate. Get in the real world. Watch the news more. Watch the news. Watch news at 10. Grow up a bit. Stop.
I love
all
you,
this.
Kenny. I love, mate. Never change, Kenny. Ken.
Let me
Never
tell you
change.
something now. Let me tell you something. The glass slipper isn't going to fit. Okay, calm down.
Let me bring North in very quickly on that, because, thing is, Northside, if the fitness team tell Mikel Arteta that Saka's fit, not only is he going to play him against Real Madrid, he's probably going to bring him on against Fulham and start him against Everton, knowing this manager. I mean, this is a manager who brought him on at 3-0 when we were winning away at Preston. This is a manager who started him in the Carabao Cup against Bolton Wanderers. A manager who failed to bring him off when we were 5-0 up against Lons last season. And to be fair, there was other examples as well that have just left us off the top of my head. Once this guy says this Saka kid's fit, I think he's going to just flog him again, mate. So what are you telling me, bruv?
Yeah, we got to be careful. I've never. We all remember Diaby and players like that keep getting re-injured. You never know when a player's body's going to fail them and they're going to start becoming injury prone. That's the problem. You know what I mean? And or when the player doesn't come back the same if you keep playing them injured. If you're going to look at the way that he's managed his players, I mean, Trossard was injured. He let him go out on international duty. Luckily, didn't get another injury. I remember he was saying weeks before Havertz got injured, he said Havertz is playing with a bit of a knock, but we're managing it. And then we already know Havertz is now injured. Obviously, we continue to play. Saka injured. Ben White played injured. Declan Rice played injured. So, and then before that, obviously, Thomas Partey pushing him back on the field. So, if we're just going to go off the past, he's gonna play him injured. You're gonna play him injured whether he's available or not. I think Arteta, he just cares about himself, innit? He's one of those guys. There's two forms of managing. There's managers that are about the team and for the workforce, and there's others that will throw anyone under the bus when their job comes into question. And I think he's one of those kinds of managers. Whereas I'll throw anyone under the bus. I'll do anything I need to do. It's all about me. It's all about preserving my position at the club, my job. And I think that's the kind of manager that he is. He's not looking out for the best interest of the players. And when the pressure's on, he'll play any player injured. He'll do anything, and throw the players under the bus. So I don't see Saka getting any protection from this manager. And even if he doesn't play him in the first leg, 100% he plays him in the second leg. 1,000,000,000% he plays him in the second leg. Some form, whether it's at half time or something, he will throw Saka on. So it's one of them ones, man. It's whatever. Just let him do whatever the hell he wants to do. At the end of the day, I'm just sick of the excuses. You know what I mean? I agree with Lee. I just want to get to a point where there's no more excuses anymore. Have you delivered? No. Okay, cool. Let's get the next manager. Let's stop this protection of this manager. I'm tired of it at the end of the day. So yeah, I think he's going to run
just quickly, no, sorry to cut you, because I know you made a great point on the show earlier, which I thought was bang on, man, about this Andrea Berta. And the reasons that everyone's so excited about him is because he's got the experience. Why weren't they excited when the manager wasn't experienced then? It makes no sense.
That's what they said. They because when Lee was one of the first ones that I heard online, Lee was like, yo, let's get Simeone. Oh, I don't want Simeone. Yeah, but his sporting director, it's gonna be revolutionary. It's gonna be revolutionary with Berta, but it's not revolutionary with Simeone. It don't make no sense. You know what I mean? They want a world-class sporting director. They want world-class players coming in the summer, but they don't want a world-class manager. But then they want to wax lyrical about Berta based on trophies. But they don't want to talk about that when it comes to Arteta. So there's no context for the sporting director. There's only context for the manager. It don't make no sense. This fan base, they're very chopping changing when they want to pick certain things. And the mad thing is at the end of the day, if people really think that this guy's going to change anything, Based on what? This manager's won every war. Everything he wanted in this team, he's got. Wanted Ozil out, gone. Want Aubameyang out, gone. Yeah, I'm saying doesn't want Zinchenko anymore, throws him out. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't want Fabi Vieira and Lokonga, they're out on loan. Doesn't want ESR, gone. Doesn't want Eddie, gone. Doesn't want Balogun, gone. That's what he does. He wins every battle, and you guys think, oh, he's going to come in and he's going to revolutionary. Bro, the guy wins every single time. Berta, how's Berta going to stand up to him? The club are behind Arteta. They're not behind anyone else but Arteta. Jesus is frozen out, no worries. They back Arteta. Every decision that he wants, he's backed. He wants Havertz, no worry, here's the money. You want to overpay for Declan Rice? No worry, here's the money. We smashed the transfer record for him. So I don't really understand why people think that the sporting director is going to be a louder voice than the manager when this whole thing has been based around the manager. They gave him a new contract. If they wanted to hold him accountable, surely you let him fight for his contract at the start of the season. They signed him a new contract before winning anything, before starting anything. So they're clearly behind Arteta. And the fan base were happy when he won the war against Edu. So if Berta doesn't have a say, you should back it as well because you backed it when it was against Edu. But this fan base is selective. When we smashed the transfer record to get Declan Rice, it was Arteta signing. And Arteta's the one that got us over the line against Man City. He's revolutionary. We wouldn't have got the deal over the line unless it was Arteta. But now things are going sideways. Moreno, not Arteta signing. Calafiori, not Arteta signing. But when it was Zinchenko, it's Zinchenko is what we needed. Arteta needs him. He's pivotal to the way that we play football. He's pivotal. Yeah, I'm saying. But now, some of he wanted other players. When it was Havertz, he's going to unlock him. When it was Sterling, he had him at Man City. The relationship is going to unlock him. You know, when it was Jesus, with Jesus, he knows about the player at Man City. He knows what players we need. When it was Fabi Vieira, he's going to unlock Fabi Vieira. He's going to be the next best thing under Arteta. Yeah, I'm saying. When it was Marquinhos, Arteta's going to unlock Marquinhos. He's going to grow together with ESR and Nketiah, Reece Nelson. When we re-signed Nketiah and Reece Nelson to new contracts, if Arteta wants him, I want him. Now that it's going sideways, Arteta's not been backed, man. Arteta's not been backed. You know, he's only just smashed the transfer record twice. He's not being backed. Oh yeah, but you told me that Kai Havertz. If you don't understand what Kai Havertz does, you don't understand ball. Arteta understands what he's going to do with him. It's not on Arteta. Start of the season, we've got versatility with defense. If Arteta wanted the Maldini of defenders, Arteta saw Kivior and said that's the next best thing. But now that we didn't win anything, I can't believe they got him Kivior. I can't believe they got him Calafiori. But you told me it was Maldini. Nah, bro. It's the board. It's the board's fault. It's all on the board. Yeah? But you wanted Lokonga. It's the board now. Non Tavaj. Bro, it's nothing to do with Arteta now. But when we signed these players, Jorginho, you lot told us winning mentality when we got Jorginho. Arteta's got him because he's winning mentality. He's got the experience. Now he's not performing. It's the board. It's funny how everything's the board, but you didn't say it was the board at the start of this process. You wasn't saying it was the board when we got these players and signed these players and we were questioning it. You weren't saying it was the board when we had a 10 out of 10 window. January's back to back, and you told us 10 out of 10 window. Yeah? You told us if Arteta wants him, you want him. But now it's the board now. Now it's the board, yeah? Well, guess what? The board that you're criticizing were the first people to ever believe in the process. They're the ones, yeah, that signed this manager to be the next manager after Unai Emery. So why are you mad at the board? The board is the one that put in place the project and process that you're now celebrating. So why are you coming at the board for? This man chat rubbish.
Don't forget, yeah, we don't need a striker because we're sharing the goals around. It is for every striker that's available.
It's goals by committee. It's goals by committee.
Oh, but they'll all grow together. Well, how's that working for Odegaard and Martinelli then? Marino's going to unlock Martinelli. How's that working out?
Well, you put this in the chat. You said Saka's minutes played this season in all competitions is 1,868. Elise's 2,621 equates to 8 full games less than Elise. Saka has had no break for 5 years, and Elise has. You wouldn't play him at all, then, no?
Nope.
Saka.
No.
Because I was saying to Curtis, if he's fit, I'm kind of not going to be annoyed that he's playing.
No, he's not fit. Dan, he's
Yeah.
not fit. Dan, even if, he can do all the training he wants, Dan, yeah? Right? He's not going full tilt in training. Now you're coming up against Real Madrid, the current Champions League holders. Yeah, and I see some people in the chat earlier on when we first got here. Yeah, and I've seen a lot of people online. They're thinking we got a chance to win the game. Whatever, cool. Yeah, maybe we will win the game. Fantastic. Are we going to win the competition? Probably not. In fact, I'd say we have no chance of winning it. Yeah, because as soon as we come up against Real Madrid, you're going to see levels. And it might not be levels in terms of scoreline. Yeah, because they've been playing awful-looking football this season. But their awful-looking football gets them over the line 9 times out of 10. Yeah, they've been crap. Compare their style of football to Barcelona. Well, they're still both in a title race together. Yeah, compare Simeone. Oh, he's rubbish. Well, everyone thinks he parks the bus. No, he does that in certain games to get through a game because he can adapt to who he's playing against. Yeah, obviously didn't work against Barca, or Madrid. But at the same time, he's still in 2 competitions this season. Simeone, yeah. Hansi Flick could win all 4, by the way. He could do a treble plus the Supercopa de España, which then gives
What did he
him
do with Bayern? What did he do with Germany, mate?
Yeah, and look at the football he's playing. He's playing the most exciting football in Europe this season, right? And they're flying.
Bro,
right?
I said Hansi Flick. I said Hansi Flick.
I said Hansi Flick as well. But at the same time, yeah, Real Madrid, right? They just know how to get shit done. Yeah, our players are going to walk out in that Bernabeu and shit the bed. They're going to shit the bed. It might be one of the most boring 2-legged affairs you'll ever see in your life, but they're getting through. We ain't. Yeah, we ain't, Dan, and I don't want him playing. Yeah, we've seen this guy play for England in a World Cup and 2 Euros whilst doing the campaigns in the league, playing nearly every minute of every game for club and country over 5 years. Yeah, let him rest. Yeah, and if we're in a position where we have to rush this geezer back, yeah, to maybe have a chance against Madrid, well, the process has failed then, isn't it?
Just a quick question. So say we go into the leg at Bernabeu, and let's just say, I don't know, there's 30 minutes left in the game and it's 1-1. Would you not bring on Saka with 30 minutes to go just because realistically he is someone who can be a difference maker for Arsenal? Or would you rather, miss out on the potential opportunity of qualifying to the next round?
I wouldn't bring him on. Bro, I've seen Vinny Jr. get hooked off enough times this season when they need a goal.
But you wouldn't bring Saka on if we needed a goal, even for 30 minutes?
No, because the prize of going through against Real Madrid when it's not a final and you're winning it, if it was a final, then maybe, yeah. Right? Because you've got an opportunity to win a trophy, the biggest prize in football, yeah? Like for club teams, yeah? But it's a quarter-final, Hooks, right? And if we get through, right, which is no guarantee even if we bring him on, by the way, because he ain't up to speed, and he's done a mad injury. Maybe, but does it though? He's not fit. Yeah, maybe put somebody else in that is fit.
But at some point, he's got to build up his match fitness, though.
We'll play him in the reserves then.
At some point, he has to build it up.
Yeah, play him in the reserves.
For me,
this is how let me answer the question. Sorry, let me land. I'll be quick here because you've been waiting patiently, and I apologise. Yeah, right. But real talk here. If that was a final, then yeah, maybe risk him. But that didn't go well for Harry Kane after he did the same injury, by the way. Yeah, and was out for months and months because he ghosted the final when they should have played Lucas Moura, who got them to the final with that hat trick. Right now, if we do get through, right, and he does help us get through, fantastic. But now we've got PSG or Aston Villa. Well, let's be real. PSG are wallop us in the form they're in right now and the form we're in right now. And Aston Villa, this manager's got this guy's number anyway, right? So that's not a guarantee. So now, if we don't get through, and now we've put him on, we've now maybe set him back a month or 2 or 6 months. Now maybe he's tweaked. Oh, shit, now he does a groin strain. Because when you've done a grade 3 that high up, yeah, right, bro, that's now a groin strain waiting to happen. That's now a hamstring waiting to happen. That's now the opposite hamstring because now you're worried a little bit about going. And that's his, that's not his favoured foot. It was his left leg, wasn't it? Was it his left? That was his right, I think. Either way, yeah, that's the one he's stand-up, dink side, yeah? Bro, I'm telling you now, yeah, if we play that geezer between now and the end of the season, I'll be absolutely baffled if he lasts all season next season. Yeah, it'll be in and out the team. It's not the risk and reward is not worth it because it's not a final.
What if he ends up like Hazard? Look at what injuries did to Hazard and how he never returned.
Michael Owen.
Exactly. Hooks. What if he ends up like Hazard and then never gets to reach his potential because we risk it? Is it worth it?
Yeah, but the thing is, yeah, with the grade 3 like tear that he had, like it could be all 8-9 months down the line and it just goes. Like it's one of those injuries that time isn't really the issue. Like it's more so the use of it. So
no, it doesn't go, bro. Come on, what we doing?
Like we're gonna like 9 months down the line.
He's had surgery on a hamstring, bro. That's hanging off the bone.
No, I don't mean go. I mean like in terms of him having another injury based around the hamstring, that could happen at any point.
Yeah, which is why you don't rush the geezer back. You let him fully
but you could not rush him back, and it could
gradually
happen.
get him back up to speed. Yeah, in the youth team games.
But this is why I say 30 minutes. Like I personally, if Arsenal are in I wouldn't bring him on I wouldn't play him in the first leg unless we're in a scenario which is highly unlikely. But let's just say, hypothetically speaking, we're 3-0 up. I'd give him 15 minutes, 10 minutes at the end of the game. Just
That's
to start.
No, did you hear that? 3-0 up.
Yeah. I said hypothetically.
You mean 3-0 down?
No. I said hypothetically, and I said highly unlikely before anyone loses.
I know, but
I'm just creating a hypothetical scenario where I would play Saka in the first leg.
When was
apart from Barcelona 3-0 up?
Because like there's no pressure. He won't have to come on and do too much running, anything like that. We're building up the match fitness.
But that's the thing, though, yeah. Hooks, if you use him, he gets injured. You'd say, "Why did we use him?" And now he's got re-injured. You'd blame it on the manager.
No, but the thing is,
do you get it?
Yeah, but I understand that at some point we have to build up his match fitness. And
put him in the reserves,
I personally think that in the Premier League, it's not worth playing him at all. But I feel like in the Champions League, there's adequate reason to at least give him some minutes. And then I also think from two aspects, like if he's cleared, by the medical team, fitness team, all of that, I'm not qualified. They're qualified. If they've made that judgment, there's reasons behind why they've made that judgment. So if he's available to be on the bench, then I'm assuming he's been signed off to be given minutes. So
they signed off Ben White when he needed surgery in August. And he played for 3 months. Yeah, and the manager admitted that in November when he got injured. And we were all sitting there, all of us on this panel. Yeah, we're sitting there going, "Why the fuck's Ben White played so shit this season? Why? Because he needed knee surgery. Yeah, why? But the medical staff cleared him to play. On your words, what you just said.
Yeah, but he was playing bad because he needed surgery, because he was playing with an injury, but he could still play with the injury. He was just playing bad because he needed surgery. Because he
and now, how many times has he played since?
Yeah, because obviously he had the surgery and now he's recovering and now he's working his way back into.
Look at Jesus. We rushed Jesus back, right, lads? Yeah, we rushed Jesus back when Trossard was actually doing bits when we were 8 points clear, 7 points clear at that point, whatever. Yeah, he then decides, no, Jesus is my star boy. I'm going to rush him back after a knee surgery. He's had 3 more since.
But nobody is, but the scenario is different because nobody is doing bits at the moment, and Saka is our star player. So what I'm saying is, if there is adequate reason to bring him on, which could allow us to move through to the next round of the Champions League, I personally would say make that.
Okay, let me say this, and I'm going to go bathroom and let the guys go. Let me say this back in response to that. Let's say we bring him on, he scores the winner, fantastic. And then let's say in training, he pulls his hamstring again, now he's out of the semi. Then what? Was it fucking worth it?
He can pull his hamstring in training now.
Yeah.
And he can pull his hamstring in training without playing in that game.
Yeah, no, I agree. But at the same time, the risk outweighs the reward.
I think it's a bit
because just because you've beaten Real Madrid, this fan base are gassed it like we've won the Champions League. Yeah. Is he gonna be able to play enough minutes over the run to get past Madrid, PSG, or Aston Villa if we get past them, and then whoever we get on the other side, whether that be Bayern, Barca, Inter, whoever else, Dortmund, and all this, is he going to be able to do that? How you say he should, based on previous, after coming off of that? For me, no chance. Save him for next year.
use him sparingly in the Champions League because look, I think we need Saka to get past the likes of a Real Madrid. I don't necessarily think that we need Saka to get past the likes of a PSG or an Aston Villa. But if the scenario, and that's no disrespect to Aston Villa or PSG, I just rate Real Madrid a lot higher than what I rate PSG and Aston Villa, which I personally think is a fair comment to make. But say we get to a scenario, if we do get through past Real Madrid and then we get to Aston Villa or PSG, and it's like, cool, second leg, 2-1 down or 1-1 or whatever draw, bring him on sparingly because he can make the difference in the game. Like, I'm not saying give him full 90 minutes, playing from the start, 90 minutes. And if the manager does that, I think that's very...
How highly did you rate Sporting Lisbon?
Offside's face.
Because this fact. No, I'm sorry, yeah, but like you're talking that I don't rate these PSG and all these.
I never said I don't rate them
as highly. Yeah, but bro, we can't rate. No one rates us. No one rates us highly though, because under this manager, yeah, we've gone out to teams that we should be beating, bro.
What does that?
We should be beating in European competitions. Yeah, in European competitions, we've been eliminated by Olympiacos, Sporting Lisbon. All these men don't spend the money that we do. A Bayern Munich team, yeah, where the manager already had his P45 and the players already down tools. We are in no position, especially under this manager, to be talking about, oh, but this guy, this team, you know, if we progress by Real Madrid, this team, I don't rate them as, bro, no one rates us. That's the reality, bro. The best Arsenal team I've seen didn't even win in Europe, bro, in 06. Yeah. And I rated that Arsenal team. So we're not really in a position to be talking like that.
I'm not speaking from. I mean, and if it was misunderstood, cool. I'm not speaking from the aspect holistically rate them. I'm speaking purely from the scenario of using Saka. Purely. So
there's
all
no
of that,
because
we got knocked out by Olympiacos and Bayern.
If we were Saka, we'll be cutting Arteta if he gets re-injured. And we had a period at Arsenal before, Diaby and Wilshere and players like that, where we played players injured and then became injury prone. Protect the player. Yes, he can get injured in training, but that's not through neglect or you not trying to protect the player. Yeah, because you've done everything you can to try and isolate the player to come back completely healthy. He is not fit. This manager and this fan base said that the bench is fixed. That's what they told us. Bench is fixed. Cool. Use your fixed bench. We've got rotation. Use your rotation. We've got versatility. No. But hold on. I never said your name. Never said your name. Yeah, but you shouldn't be. But the fact that we've been overplaying Saka is the reason why he's got injured. Now that he's injured and not fully fit, you want to use him in a certain scenario so he can get re-injured. That doesn't make no sense.
Re-injured to give us a chance of going through, because I would be vexed if we got to with 1-1 and we had the chance where we could have brought him on. I said 30 minutes. It could have been 10. It could be
not
5.
Protecting the player is why the player is injured in the first place. Overplaying it. Now you want to play him again.
Okay, cool. Let me ask you from a different.
Is that not true though? Is that a lie?
Let me ask you for a different angle then, because obviously you're more focused on the injury and that. So let me ask a different question. So say cool, it's 1-1, yeah, 5 minutes to go, yeah. Then man score, yeah. We go out, but Saka's just there chilling on the bench. But that 5 minutes, he could have came on and he could have made the difference. You're vexed that Arsenal have gone out. I guarantee you, Bearman are going to be like, why didn't Arteta bring him on for 5 minutes?
I'm not Bearman, and I would not. No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't, because he's in this situation. Okay. No, because he's in this situation.
Cool.
Well, I'm answering it. Well, let me answer it. The reason I wouldn't is he's in this situation of getting injured is because the whole reign of Arteta at Arsenal, you've played him into the ground. Now that he's injured and he's not fully fit, and plus even the fact that you could play him, what level do you think he'll be back at? He's just coming back into football and he's going up against Real Madrid. Real Madrid, whether you want to rate them or not, Real Madrid that won the Champions League, won La Liga last season. Real Madrid with the history and are the champions of this competition. You're throwing him straight into the Champions League. It doesn't work like that in football. You don't just take a player out that's been injured for a long time and hasn't had rest and you just bring him off the bench, de-ice him like we've done with Tierney, defrost him and go, yo, perform now. It doesn't work like that. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. He's had no momentum and he's been out. And the first game is our biggest game of the season. Arteta can hold that. You've put us in this situation. You have put us with this situation from your mismanagement of the team. As much as I would love Saka there, the reason Saka isn't there because you never bring competition to rotate him and you never manage his minutes. Now that he's injured, don't risk his career. I don't think it's right for the manager to risk his career in that situation. I
But
don't
do-
think so
okay.
because I feel like he was also it was bad management from the manager doing it to Declan Rice with a broken toe. It was bad from Ben White as well at the start of the season, playing him injured, and they've been out for a long time. The problem is we're seeing players come back. You don't know if these injuries are going to be recurring injuries because you played them through injury, which means you're probably giving them injections or something for them to play through pain because they're not fit. So why am I going to risk that to a player that I love Saka? I wouldn't do that to the guy, bro. That's wrong, bro.
What if Saka wants to play?
I don't care. Protect the player from himself because sometimes you
Okay,
got to protect. You
so-
know, like fighters in
Okay, so
boxing.
you'd rather lose them? Is what
You know,
you're
like
telling me.
fighters in boxing, yeah. When the boxer's getting knocked out and their ringside goes, "Yo, throw the." He's getting knocked out. In a minute, he could get concussed. He could get knocked out. It could be fatal. You have to sometimes save the athlete from themselves, bro. What
Okay,
is the manager there to do?
I hear that. I hear that. So basically to summarize, so what you're telling me is you would rather Arsenal get knocked out of the Champions League than even the 1% chance that Saka could come on, make a difference, and we could go through.
Yeah, I'm not risking it.
So then my response to that would be, cool, if we do go out, you can't be mad then.
No,
You
stop,
wanted
don't
to-
do that. Don't
you
do
didn't
that.
wanna
No,
go-
no, stop.
you didn't- No, wait,
Stop,
because-
don't do that.
No,
No, because you're not going to say something that you're not going to say something that's not true. Because ever since I've been on this YouTube platform, I've been telling you, no, you're not going to do that. When I've been on this platform, I've been saying this team ain't good enough. And I've been told we've got versatility. I've been told that Jorginho can do a job. That Sterling, we're going to unlock Sterling. Havertz. I've been calling out the fact that the way this team's been built is not good enough. I'm Portuguese. I told man, Fabi Vieira ain't good enough. Man want to talk to me about the Portuguese league. You don't watch it. I told man Lokonga ain't good enough. I told you Grimaldo's a better player than Tavares. I've been calling out the way that this manager's been building this team from time. So the fact that we get eliminated only proves the point I've been making when it wasn't popular to say it. I told you this team ain't good enough. And now when people told me there's versatility, I told you we have versatility defensively. And even then, we don't even have a proper backup centre-back because none of the players the backup centre-back are good enough. I told you Sterling ain't good enough. I said, why don't we bring a winger? Why don't we bring a striker? I've been calling out this bench and saying this bench is built to hold on to a lead. And now people are starting to see why I was saying that, yeah? But people, no, so you're not going to say, oh, but if we're knocked out, then you're proven wrong. No, because before the fact, I said that the team ain't good enough and the bench ain't good enough, and this manager has not strengthened us. And
it doesn't matter.
What we needed wasn't another DM. What we needed was a quality winger. That is what we needed, bro. So don't tell me now that we get eliminated. Oh, but you can't complain. I was complaining.
But that has nothing to do with what I said. It has actually nothing to do with
you
what
can't
I said.
complain if we get eliminated. No, because I never wanted Saka to be running to the
You
ground.
don't wanna do all that is possible to win.
Okay.
You don't. You're and probably most other people, because there's going to be loads of Arsenal fans that are not willing to do all that is possible to win that tie.
Says the person that wants to keep the manager.
What has the manager done all that's possible in the 5 years of his project to win?
I hear that, but
No. Answer me. I've just sat here and listened. And the words you said is, would you risk bringing Saka on for 15 minutes if it's 1-1 in the Bernabeu to bring Saka on?
Yeah.
So you are relying on a player that's been out injured with a horrific injury to come on and change the game when this guy has had 5 years, £750 million to build a squad that he bangs on about, where he's got players in all positions and he likes players to score from all round the pitch, and we've got this and this is versatile and that's versatile. You don't need Saka then, do you? He's got his squad. He's a top manager. He's a top manager, isn't he? He's won everything, doesn't he? He's a top manager. He's built a squad for 5 years, and you're telling me to bring on an injured player to change the game.
But he's not injured. He's come back from injury. If he's on the bench, he is working his way back to being fully fit.
He's injured.
Okay, so then if he's
injured.
Okay, if he's injured, then he wouldn't be on the bench.
So where is this? So it's desperation that we've got to rely on a player that's been out injured to come on against one of the best teams in the world to try and turn the game round. Have faith in your coaching and have faith in your weak squad that you've built over the years. But don't rely on a player to come off the bench and change the game.
Okay, but so never before in the history of football have players come off the bench while coming back from injury.
When they've had game time building up to it, yes.
Okay.
He's had no game time. He's had no minutes.
What do you mean game time build up to? He's got to get game time at some point, no? What's the difference?
So go into the reserves then. Go into the reserves. Go into the reserves. Dennis Bergkamp was on the bench in 2002. Yeah, away at Old Trafford. We had no TT. We have no Pires because they were injured.
We're going back 23 years.
Yeah, well, why did you support Arsenal? Why? Because we were winning shit, no doubt. Right? So,
we're talking about now.
No, we're talking about injuries. Dennis Bergkamp was injured. He held bench. Kenny, DJ, you also know this as well, yeah?
Started, I remember.
Right? Kenny, DJ, you two will both know this, yeah? How many times did Arsene Wenger tell Thierry Henry he ain't playing, even if he wanted to play, because he's in the fucking red zone?
Loads.
Yeah, well, our fucking Saka is in the red zone.
Weren't risking him. Yeah, but you're talking about elite managers there, though, Lee, aren't you? You're talking about elite managers. You're not talking about...
Real Madrid's not our next game. It's not like we're back from international break and we got Real Madrid straight away. We've got 2 games before Real Madrid. We're going to have however many training sessions. Apparently, he's half fit now, or however fit he is now. Yeah, maybe he can play some minutes against Fulham. Maybe he comes on 10 minutes against Fulham, 5 minutes, I don't know. Maybe play some minutes against Everton.
It's reported he's back for Real Madrid. That's why we said that. It's reported he's back for Real Madrid. He's not back for those games, apparently, from report.
It said he would be on the bench, though. Well, it said he could make play.
That's what I don't know if that's true. International break, he says, is looking good. Yeah, which means we don't... In the interview the other day where Arteta pretended to run out that interview, he said, he said to him, is he going to be back after the international break? He said, it's looking likely.
Yeah, Arteta's a compulsive player. We've seen that for 5 years.
There's 2 games before Real Madrid. There's no guarantee we've got to rush him straight back into Real Madrid. There's 2 games.
Okay, but let's hope he plays. Let's hope we beat Real Madrid and then go and win the Champions League. How about that? Because if we beat Real Madrid and don't win it, it was all in vain, wasn't it?
Can I just say,
come on.
I listened to this stream on the way here. I was playing football. I was listening to the stream. If I had my eyes closed...
Are you fit and available to play against Madrid?
Hold on. If I had my eyes closed, Arsenal fans, I would have thought this was Spurs fans and we were in 14th and we were just in the mud.
We're realistic, bro. Come on. We've won nothing for 5.5 years, 1,688 days without a trophy. Yeah, and who's got? We've all laughed at Liverpool at the weekend. Ha 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 ha. Oh, they're only going to win the league. Well, when we going to win it then? Yeah. Then we've all laughed at Madrid. Ha ha. They lost to Betis. Ha ha ha. They're rubbish. Ha ha ha. Vinny's only scored 5 goals this season. Ha ha ha. Whoopie do. Now we're trying to rush a player back in. Bro, we're laughing at the billionaire bottle jobs down the road. Yeah. We're laughing at the blue billionaire bottle jobs down the road. He's nearly on $1 billion, this manager, right? We laugh at Tottenham for winning nothing. Yeah, well, we're winning nothing. We laughed at Liverpool at the weekend because they got beaten by Newcastle. We ain't even had a shot on target in how many games?
When you say we're laughing, you're talking about a minority of idiots on Twitter.
We're talking about the large percentage of football fans.
It's not at all. How many Arsenal fans would love to be in Liverpool's position to be 12 points clear going on to win the league? I didn't laugh at them.
Okay, no, I didn't laugh at them either. The point is, on that basis, then call it out.
Laughing at Liverpool at all.
We'll call it out then, because nobody calls it out. And then we're deemed negative for calling it out.
Mate, you know negativity sells. Of course it does.
No, it doesn't, mate. I've sat there yesterday and did La Liga 2 watch long, mate, with nearly 1,000 people watching on my second channel. Was I negative on that watch long? No, I weren't.
I'm talking about you.
I did Bayern Celtic. No,
the reason you're seeing people laughing at Liverpool fans is because negativity sells. That's the stuff that goes viral. Of course it is.
It's big. No, but now the club are looking at that. The club. My point, Christian, is the club look at everything on social media. They're probably watching the stream. The media team will probably watch it because that's their job. So when everyone's gassing everything up and laughing at rivals, that's job done.
You reply to that, yeah. You said that the club watches everything on social media. Players also do these days, right? On social media, players and fans.
Big up Joe Willock, by the way, because I know he watches me. Cheers.
One sec. Players and fans are more connected now than they've ever been, right? Social media players are on social media, they see everything. So why are you going to be so negative about players? One bad performance, people are negative. I've seen people saying
it's a results-based business.
We want this team to go on and put in a performance against Real Madrid, but we're being negative. But like the amount of negativity I see to these players.
Okay, let me answer that, and I'll let the panel go because I don't want to go to and fro and argue with you. Yeah, right. If they're sitting on social media, watching what Lee Gunner, Kenny Kim, yourself, Christian, Hooks, Northside, DJB, and Potts are saying, and they're getting offended by that. They should delete social media. They're paid to kick football, not watch what we're saying. Yeah, Declan Rice giving it all of that the other day, and karma, when it's 1-1 to a 14th place team in the league that have fallen off a fucking cliff, right? And then when he goes and scores the second goal, against PSV, posts out on his Instagram posts, said no celebration, please, tonight. Bruv, what are you doing? How about win me a fucking trophy? Because you won one at West Ham, mate. So if these men have got it in their heads, Brendan Johnson's like, they're all at it. Right? If they've got that in their heads when they're getting paid way too much money to kick a football around and not delivering trophies, when we're the paying public, watching that and paying towards and contributing, I've got this owner Spaniard, they get a cut of that. You guys go games, you're watching Sky and all the TNT, we're all paying merch and all of that. How about shut up and win me something and then talk? That's my point. The fact and reality is, these players are not good enough with this manager. Some of these players are extremely talented, but this manager is suppressing them and it ain't changing. So cool, whatever. Give him all of his money in the summer. Give him all of his players in the summer. Then what? All this positivity, doesn't build mental strength. Bro, I was raised in the 80s. I used to get beaten the shit out by my parents. Middle of the shopping centre. What? You want to look at me the wrong way? I don't talk back to my mum anymore, though. Do you know what I'm saying? These kids, and this era of football is the weakest, most spineless, and these players are exactly the same. It's embarrassing. Where's the leaders, bruv? Our captain is flicking his hair mid-game, taking 3.5 minutes to take a free kick, letting Rice kick it into the wall. Fucking shambles. I don't care if the game's shit to watch. I've watched George Graham football. These men have watched Terry Neal. They've watched fucking other managers before that. Real talk. Win something, we don't care. And this is what Madrid have got in their heads. They win, they'll call out the fucking games, they'll boo their team all through the game, and they have done 10 times this season. But guess what? They'll end up winning. Why isn't it just, back the team, you're at the game? If the players see it, well, the players were seeing them getting booed out onto the pitch the other day, after they got spanked in a final by Barca. Ancelotti's name read out on the tannoy system, booed. He's their most successful manager. Don't see his statue outside the ground. How comes Real Madrid keep turning up and winning trophies whilst getting booed and cheered and whistled and cussed out every week? Social media, they get cussed out every day when they fuck up. When it's English football. Okay, so what's the difference? Because we've outspent them.
Do you know what the difference is?
Their fans own the club. That's the difference.
Cool. But we're never going to be in a scenario where us as fans own Arsenal.
We could have the mentality though, Hooks, and that's my point.
It's a moot point. I like even comparing Arsenal to Madrid on that. Arsenal's never ever.
Not like we knocked a stadium down to compete with them and be like them.
Yeah, but I hear all that and I agree with you. But my thing is the difference is Real Madrid have match winners all over the pitch.
We've outspent them for 12 years.
Yeah, but they have match winners.
Why? Because they know how to build a squad. Because their fans hold them accountable.
That's a bit of a disingenuous argument.
But it's not. We've outspent them. It's facts.
Why? No, do you know why?
Real Madrid.
We all know what Real Madrid likes to do, and they're currently doing it with Trent. They get involved with the player, and then they say, "Yo, run down your contract, and we'll pick you up on a free transfer."
So why can't we do that then?
Because we're not Real Madrid. I don't know how.
Why? No, you're not talking a different language, Hooks.
Hey, man, you're arguing a point that you know the answer to. We're not Real Madrid.
We're not Real Madrid.
Yeah, but okay. So I'm asking both of you guys. We have outspent Real Madrid for 12 years.
There's reasons.
We're never going to be as big as them. We're never going to win as much as them.
Yep.
Number one, how does that stop us having the mentality to do the most we can? Number one. And number two, the reason. I want you to answer the reason why. Oh, it's just Real Madrid. Why? Because what? What is the difference between their fan base, their ownership, which is their fans, by the way, the season ticket socios, they then elect but they hold their club accountable. So I want you to tell me, when we've outspent them factually since 2012, how comes they keep winning and keep having the standards up even when they're winning a sack? Since we've won a league title, they have sacked 10 managers that won fuck all. 10. And they've still won what they've won, 30 odd trophies. So what's the difference then? Because we can do that.
The culture of the clubs. That's the difference. The difference is the culture of the clubs. Look how long we had Wenger. Look how long we had Wenger. Real Madrid have a history of sacking managers. Arsenal, at least from when, you get me, I was born, You get me, Wenger. The only two managers that I know of that Arsenal have sacked quite quickly is Bruce Rioch and Unai Emery. Outside of that, Wenger, you got to appreciate me growing up, all I saw Arsenal was have one manager. That's all I saw. And that's for a long period of time. That's embedded into the code. Like, we can't ignore that. Whereas Real Madrid, they've got that code, like Chelsea, they've got that culture. Yeah, cool, sack. Sometimes even sack if you may win something, but you just didn't win enough. They've got that culture. We don't have that. We saw Wenger go years and years and years and years without really winning anything. And that is due to our ownership. That's due to our ownership.
No, it's due to the fan base, mate.
Well, the fans may play a part in it, but then I look at things like, for example, the ballot system. The ballot system.
That's only just come in. That's irrelevant.
A few seasons ago, but
yeah, it's irrelevant. What's that got to do with Wenger? Because it went there then.
No, because it's to do with the ownership. So the ballot system is now created division within the action.
Kenny, please educate Hooks here respectfully. Yeah, Kenny, why did the ballot system get put in place in the first place?
The ballot system got put in place because of demand for tickets. The reason why it got put in place is because previously, a lot of fans were, silver memberships and red memberships were getting tickets, and all of a sudden, because they weren't getting the tickets, it was going to, and I say it disrespectfully, YouTubers, and I'm not having anything to say in fact, influencers who got no business being at football, 4'9" midgets who pay up £500 for a ticket but can't see bloody thing, that sort of thing. Only fans girls, nonsense like that, and also fans from abroad, like how do I say it, overseas fans, and that's why we've got a ballot, because we're struggling. It's because there's more demand but less tickets. It should have never have been like that in the first place. It's only maybe part of it is because we've been, challenged for the title, albeit except for this season. That's probably why there's been less tickets but more demand. But really, truly, it should never really have been about it. Tickets should be distributed fairly. Silver membership and red membership should come first, rather than touts, trousering the tickets and giving it to influencers so they can film themselves or go on AFTV and talk bollocks.
But which was my point? My point is, it was an intentional move to create division in the ground. So now it's very difficult for groups to come together and stage a protest inside of the ground. This is the point that I'm making. This is part of what the problems it's very intentional from the ownership. So it's the same.
They look at the fans. They look at the fans in the AST. The AST, they love to chat shit, as we know, right? We all know the AST. They love to chat shit. They did it under Wenger. Yeah. All the top fans online, all the custodians previously, they've all got the ump. Yeah, they had to sell their stake, their one share or whatever it was they had. Yeah, to Kroenke. Right? And then it's, we can't always get tickets like we used to, and all these other fans wanted to, and the supply and demand, it went up because all of a sudden, it's back. We were in a title race, 8 points clear. So now more people want tickets. They've frozen the waiting list, by the way, for a season ticket. Right? Somebody was in my chat the other day and they said, I'm 104,000 on the season ticket waiting list. I tried to put my son on there and it's frozen. So there's 104,000 people waiting for a season ticket. So all these people that sit online with their massive accounts, they're ex-custodians of the club, that had to get their shares sold back to Kroenke, forcefully, have all got the umps. They all cried about tickets. That then was noted by the club and they said, fuck this, we can do a fucking ballot here. I know somebody that's been going for 10 years on a silver every home game. Bro, he won one ballot this season already, and last year he's won none. 1 in 2 years, he went every home game.
Yeah, I know people like that as well.
Bruv.
I know people like that as
well.
They
want the fan that's going to go and do 350. If you sell your, Kenny, if you put your season ticket on Ticket Exchange, DJU as well, Potts as well. If you put your season ticket, Christian as well, Hooks, any of us in here, if you put your season ticket on Ticket Exchange and they get the credit back and it's say 50 quid, 60 quid, whatever it may be, They're selling that for 5 times more.
100%.
Yeah, they don't want you there. Yeah, and I know that because Aaron told me this. The geezer that stands next to him every fucking week in, week out at home, couldn't go the other week. So he put it on ticket exchange. It was a 60 quid ticket. Yeah, he asked the geezer stood next to him, who was in the mate's seat that couldn't go, how much do you pay? He went 350 quid off ticket exchange. They're coining it in. They don't want you lot there. They want to make that.
That's rubbish.
But it's not. Well, it's not. Well, Aaron's lying then.
It is. I get tickets all the time on ticket exchange. Never ever seen a normal seat for 350 quid. I never seen a normal seat for over 110 pounds. The only tickets that go for that are box tickets. And even that is never over 300. Max I've ever seen 230, 240. And that's like exclusive lounge boxes. No
Let me ask you, Christian.
upper tier is over 110, 120. And if you can prove it, I'll be wrong, but I know I'm not because I'm on ticket exchange all the time.
Let me ask you, Chris. Let's move it away from club tickets and how much they cost and the owners, because I can't stand to talk about the owners. You've said to me you're confident that this team can go and win the Champions League. Christian, you said it a few weeks ago.
Danny.
Go on. No, you said why? Okay, you said why we can't. Why can't we?
I'm not confident we can go and win the Champions League.
Okay, but you said why? Haven't we got a chance? Then okay, cool.
Okay,
why haven't we got a chance? Do you still stand by the way we've been playing of late, mate? Because I haven't been impressed. Obviously, the Man United game was a shambles. Chelsea was a bore fest, snooze fest, whatever you want to call it. Marino's still up top. I know Saka's coming back. Havertz and Jesus are not. They're obviously long-term. Tomiyasu, if anyone knows where he is, please let me know. So we've got obviously Saka coming back potentially. We don't want to go into the whole, shall we play him, shall we not? If he is or if he isn't fit, I personally feel like he is going to play. I know the boys disagree and think he shouldn't, but I don't really know where I'm at, if I'm honest. If he's fit, he'll play. If he ain't fit, he won't. Right? Let's just leave it at that. I think he's going to play. Are you confident going into this Real Madrid double tie, looking at the way we're playing at the moment, bruv?
I wouldn't say confident, no. The last time we played well was P7-1. Since that's been poor. United was very, very poor. I think substitutions in that game were odd. Bringing on Tierney for Partey, we lost all control. Just strange subs in that game. I think I was at the Chelsea game. I don't think it was that bad. I thought first 30 minutes we played quite well. Chelsea then came back into it. We didn't really create. Well, we created chances. Martinelli had one on the right. Trossard had one edge of the box. It wasn't the worst game, but we know what our weakness is. Obviously, we're light up top. I'm not confident at all. I think we got a chance, but this is Real Madrid, man. They got the history. They've got ridiculous quality all over the pitch. Mbappe, Bellingham, Rodrigo, all of these players. So like I said, I'm not confident, but we got a chance. I'm not confident, but we got a chance because we still have quality. We've still got a top quality defence. I think we got the best defensive centre-back partnership probably in Europe. I'm confident in Jury and Timber's ability. Left backs maybe a bit of a worry. If Lewis-Skelly plays in that game, he could definitely get caught out. He's only 18. Calafiori, we know he can get caught out because he's not a left back. And then midfield-wise, we've got a quality midfield. If Declan Rice is on it, which he's probably been our best player in the last 3-4 games. We need Odegaard to start stepping up. Obviously, he hasn't been at his best. But this is where I back Odegaard because Odegaard isn't the same player without Saka. Those two, when they play together, play at a much higher level. Saka can play at his level without Odegaard, but Odegaard can't play at his level without Saka. And I think we've seen that recently. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to say that I'm not going to back him and say he's been good enough, but I do think he's affected by the players in front of him. I watched that Chelsea game, right? He could have had 3 or 4 assists in the first half, but players weren't finishing their chances. Yeah, I think it was Martinelli he played a ball to, missed the chance of someone else. Could have had 3 assists. He got one from the corner, nice ball into Marino, right? If our forwards finished their chances, Odegaard would have 3 assists in that game, but they didn't. So people go, Odegaard was poor again. Yeah, and how long has this been happening for? When Saka gets the ball from Odegaard, he buries his chances. Yeah, if we had a top striker up top and Odegaard was playing them into him and he buried his chances, people look at Odegaard and say, "Why, he got 2 assists today?"
So do you agree then, Christian, that Arteta is the reason we haven't bought the striker and he's to blame then? Because Odegaard's putting in these balls and when we're not killing it off, well, Havertz and Jesus weren't. They're now injured. There's no one else backing up. And we had 3 strikers last year. This year, we've only got 2 and they're both injured. So surely Mikel Arteta's got to hold some blame there, Christian, no?
Yeah, he does. I said this. I think if he leaves Arsenal without winning anything, I think the hill he'll die on is Kai Havertz.
Yeah,
I think that's the worst decision he ever made as Arsenal manager. 100%. He's not good enough to play up top. He's not good enough to play in midfield. Look, if we were to sign a top striker of Gyökeres, Isak in the summer, and Havertz is a plan B, then I think I'm all right with that. I prefer him to leave the club, but he can't be a plan A. He's not good enough. Chelsea fans will tell you that. 90% of Arsenal fans will tell you that, unless they're one of them fans, which is, he's a space invader. Look what he does off the ball. I don't really care what he does off the ball. I want him to do it on the ball. I see Havertz get the ball and trip over his own. How many times does he do that a game? And I said this as well, people that back Havertz. I don't want to go in too much on Havertz, but if you think Havertz is a good player, okay, cool. You can have your opinion, right? But if you were to look at our best starting 11 with Saka on the right, Havertz through the middle, Martinelli on the left, probably Odegaard, Rice, Partey, Timber, Saliba Gabriel, Calafiori, Lewis-Skelly, right? If you were to rank those players in terms of just best player ability-wise, don't worry about position, just best to worst. For me, Havertz is at the bottom of that list. He's 11th. Maybe 10th if you want to put the left back below. So, in my opinion, you can't have a number 9, the guy who's supposed to be your goal scorer, being either the worst player or the second worst player in your team. Your number 9, your goal scorer, has to be at least your second, third best player. How many we've seen that over the years? Look at Man City, Erling Haaland. Yeah, look at all the great teams throughout history. Their number 9, their goal scorer, was always their best player. Look at the great Arsenal teams of the past. Thierry Henry, Ian Wright. Even when we had Aubameyang, he was all right. Even if he wasn't our best player, he was at least second or third. We need that player, man. We need that number 9. We need that goal scorer. We're desperately lacking it. And yeah, I back Arteta. I think he's a good manager, but he's made mistakes. I'm not going to say he hasn't.
The thing you said about Odegaard, though, like against Fulham, we had Odegaard and Saka, yet we only drew that game. Why is it that they weren't good enough to get us over the line? Everton as well, we had both of them. We drew that game. Chelsea, we had a full squad that are doing a whole rebuild and new manager and everything. We got a draw. So, and not only just that, even in previous campaigns when we had both of them, and we had Saliba, one of our centre-backs that got injured, these guys have never shown us to get over the line in a title race, nor in the cups able to get us over the line. And this is the problem, yeah? I feel like people concentrate too much on 70% of the season. Yeah, but that 30% is the bit that gets you over the line to win stuff. So it's all great that a player turns up for 70%. But when you need them to turn up for you to get over the line, they're not good enough. You know what I'm saying? Like Aaron Ramsey as well. Like he's not even a club legend, and I've seen him single-handedly win us FA Cups. Odegaard's never even done that. I don't understand the love fest for this guy. We've had so many ballers at this club. We've had Haleb Rosicky. We had Alex Song that took over from Fabregas, balling out, goes to Barcelona. We've had so many ballers at this club, yeah, that have done way more than both of them. I like Saka, innit? But at the same time, yeah, Saka's not even on the level of Alexis Sanchez. Alexis Sanchez was an absolute baller, bro. Technical ability, taking the game by himself. He didn't even need to. Sometimes he'll take the ball and just take on 3-4 players, boom, slap it top bins. He'll win it single-handedly. The same that I used to remember from Thierry Henry. I like Saka. But Odegaard, there's too much that leaves to be desired. When the game gets aggressive and he starts getting pressed, he can't play through the press. There's too many times where he's not direct. PSV, look at Zinchenko, receives the ball, goes direct on goal, shoots. I'm not saying Zinchenko's the level, but even Ethan, in terms of his directness, has shown more than Odegaard this season, and he's on £240,000 a week. It is not a great enough return. How is he captain and never led us to anything? We've got cult heroes that's been at this club when we were no longer competing for major honours that have done more than Odegaard. Odegaard has so much to prove. He has not been ever the difference maker. This is why I look at this season, and you know what, yeah? The injuries are irrelevant. We had Saka in the last campaigns. We had Odegaard in the last campaigns. We've had our strikers in the last campaigns. And what have we done to get over the line? Nothing. We needed a clinical goal scorer. We needed a bench that could actually rotate and make sure we don't burn out these players. Even if we had all these players available, we don't get over the line because we don't need to debate it. You look back in the last campaigns, they were available. We didn't do anything. A couple seasons ago, we're going up against Nottingham Forest and we're losing against them. I think it was like 1-0. Do you know what I'm saying? And both Odegaard and Saka were available. Yeah. And this is the problem.
We announced, sorry, North, we announced a dog called Win, saying he can't do 2 days before in the press conference, then lost 1-0 and gave City the title. Sorry, mate.
Where's the hype about these players? Because they never got us over the line. Like, I don't understand it. Like, I'm not saying that they can't do a job yet, but when it comes to the crunch, they don't step up to the fight. That's the problem about these players. So there's a ceiling of how much you can hype these players. It's all good performing when pressure ain't on. None of these lot have performed. None of them. Saliba, all of them. None of them have performed under pressure in any competition. We used to run the FA Cup. We don't even do that anymore. And we said that wasn't good enough. And now we're talking about, oh, well, this player needs that player, that player. No, top players elevate. Top players elevate other players around them. Top players step up and perform when the team needs them. If we lose and Saka scores in those knockout stages, I can say, all right, cool, well, Saka did his thing. All of them go missing, bro. All of them go missing. And that's why I don't understand the hype around these players, because it's all around potential. But potential's all great, but you have to reach your potential. Jack Wilshere had potential, never reached the potential. Ravel Morrison at Man United had potential. He never reaches potential. Man United said he was the best in the academy. Potential has to be reached for the hype that's around these players. That's the problem. I don't mind backing players, but players have to give me something to back. I don't have to defend Thierry Henry or Bergkamp on none of these players or Sol Campbell because they performed and they got over the line. The same as Ashley Cole. The same as all those other players that won us stuff. The problem is the fan base. I'm not necessarily saying so much you, Christian, because the first time I'm on a live with you, but the fan base back these players like the proven article, and we must stick by them. Based on what? We let go of players like Carlos Vela. We didn't care. Even with this youth thing, we had with the English core back in the day with Callum Chambers, we had Jenkinson, we had Gibbs. We didn't give a crap. Ultimately, they didn't do anything. This whole youth thing is BS. We had flipping David Bentley that didn't make it at the club. Nobody cared. This fan base talk about youth and all of these players can build and become this and that. We got rid of ESR. He was supposed to be one of the world-class players grown through. They're all gonna grow together. Balogun never got half the chance that Nketiah got. Nobody cares. Nobody's crying. But flipping Patino was another one. Aziz, another one. At the end of the day, yeah, it comes to a point where you've had enough time to prove yourself and you've not got us over the line.
How long have they had, though? How long have they had? You're talking like we've been in title races and battling for going to get into quarterfinals of Champions. This is the first time we've been in back-to-back.
At least win me cups. Then at least win me cups. Then at least win me cups.
We're just back to it. We're just getting back to the top table, yeah? 2 seasons ago, when we finished on 84 points, we weren't even supposed to be in a title race. Yeah, you're talking like we've been in title races for 7-8 years, and this team's been playing together. Gabriel and Saliba have been playing together for 3 seasons.
Hold on, the manager that a lot of this fan base compared this manager to was Klopp. Yeah. That's running the same.
One more point, yeah. It's not like Arteta came in and had this team.
Let me just land my point. I'll let you land my point, and I won't interrupt you. When we got Arteta and the people like me that didn't like this manager because he's not proven, which now they like Berta because he's proven. We said this manager is a novice and he's not going to build the team properly. Plus, he's backed with Edu that hasn't got any experience. They said, yo, look at Klopp. Self-sustained model, very similar. Give it 4 years. It's been 4 years. We don't look any closer to winning a major honor. He spent about 500-600 million pounds and won a major honor. Then went on to win a major honor. Win a Premier League under the same circumstances. You said you and Hook said something that we're not Real Madrid. Okay, every Liverpool, but they won a major honor. Neither was Chelsea when we beat them under Conte. And he didn't have to spend almost £1 billion to win the title. Man are going on like it's not possible. It is possible because Conte showed that it's possible. Klopp showed that it's possible. And Conte didn't have £1 billion spent. And Klopp spent less money already winning cups along the way and winning a major honor than winning another major honor. Why is it with this manager all of a sudden now?
Conte walked into a Chelsea team that had already spent a lot of money to get to where they were. So
how do we know?
Show me the Liverpool team. Show me the Liverpool team Klopp walks into then.
Yeah, it was shambles, absolute shambles, and it took him.
It took him 3. Actually, he got to 2 finals and lost them both in his first half season. The first full season, he qualified for Champions League. This manager took 3 full seasons to do. Yeah, by the way, in the first season he was in the Champions League, therefore his second full season, he got to the final and Karius happened. Yeah, then he qualified again, by the way, whilst being on a 97-point fucking season. Yeah, and won the Champions League. So what are we doing here?
Klopp's more experience as a manager and a better manager.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Mic drop. You get
That's
it.
why we didn't win our title.
They get there in the end.
Let me let Christian. Let me just let. I want to bring DJ and Kenny in. Let me just let Christian. You wanted to bring a point up back to Northside. Then I've got a question for DJ and Kenny. Go on, Christian.
No, he said that we're not any closer to winning a major than when Arteta came in, and that's wrong. How are we not closer? We're second. We got 89 points in the Premier League last season. The Invincibles got 90 points. I don't think people understand that. There's 1 point less than our best ever team got in the Premier League. Yeah, do we just forget about that? Were we not brilliant last season and outpipped by an even better team? How are we not closer to winning a major? I do not understand. Okay, I can understand if you're upset that we're not winning. You might not think Arteta's the guy, but to say we're no closer to winning than we were when he came in, yeah, we were finishing 8th. We were in the mud. We were battling for Europa League. We were battling for top 4. Now we're guaranteed top 4. Now we're probably guaranteed top 2. We're battling for titles. All right, this season hasn't gone the way that most fans thought it should. I'm not happy with it. Yeah, I'm devastated that this should have been our season, especially with Man City's fall off. Of course it should. But to say we're no closer is crazy, man. Come on.
Okay, I'll tell you why we're no closer.
That is just not true.
Okay, can I tell you why we're no closer? It's called stagnation, and I saw this under Wenger. Eventually, you drop out. The same thing that happened with Liverpool when they didn't rejuvenate their midfield, and then we became contenders. When you're stagnating for so long, it gets worse. When you look at our bench, we used to have, and these players, don't get it twisted, I don't like these players. We used to have Reece Nelson on the bench. We used to have Nketiah. We used to actually have attacking options. Nowadays, we're looking at set pieces. The way that we're playing is worse than what it was before. The player ID has got worse. Partey's about to leave, and we've got Mikel Moreno to fill in. We've got an injury-prone striker that's our second-choice striker. We've got Sterling that is our second-choice winger. We've got a bunch of midfielders that none of them can compete to actually create anything. We're constantly dependent on Declan Rice or Gabriel or Calafiori to score us goals and get us out of the mess. Who scored the other day? Oh, Mikel Moreno. We have regressed in numerous places. The problem is that the rest of the teams haven't improved. But once they improve, you're going to see the fact that we have regressed. Play style, the bench, hold on the bench. You're talking about, oh, look at what we were doing before. Before we were 8 points clear. We weren't 8 points clear. Even before we had Saka and Odegaard injury, we was already 9 points behind Liverpool before those injuries. Then you look at the way that we're dealing with the cups. Last season, we got kicked out the cup by Liverpool and West Ham. This season, Newcastle's beat us 3 times. We got kicked out the cup by Man United. We lost to Bayern Munich last season. This season, what are we going to do? We're going to get kicked out about Real Madrid. We're not doing any better. Under Wenger, the reason we had enough is because we were getting top 4, but we weren't getting over the line. Has Mikel Arteta established us to be in the top 4? Yes. Top 4 does not mean that you're competing. Does not mean, I'm talking about competing to win. The fact that we started this season and every Arsenal fan told me we got a better squad than Liverpool and they're going to be taking a long time to have a rebuild. They've eclipsed us. They've shown after just getting a manager change, not even getting a player. They only got Chiesa. They got the manager in and they've shown that they're a better team than us when we said we had the better squad because we finished second last season. Yeah. Your place in the league is not established that you're going to finish there next season. How many seasons were Liverpool finishing second with City and then we came and picked them? Why? Because of stagnation. And we've stagnated. So the fact is,
they've been more consistent on
listen, bro.
I can't argue that, yeah. I don't want to bring injuries into it. But let me ask you a question. With our strongest starting 11 fit and Liverpool's strongest starting 11 fit, who's a better team?
With our strongest 11 fit, Liverpool's stronger. They got world-class winners that have been there and got over the line. They're better. And a manager with more credentials. They're better than us.
Yeah. Who started managing, by the way, in the top flights? Yeah, the same year Arteta did. What phase is he in? Because he's about to win another title, his second. And he's won a cup as well. What phase is he in?
Where have we got better? We're doing the same thing we did with Wenger when he was getting top 4. The difference is we're just a little bit higher in the top 4. We're still bottling the cups. If anything, Wenger was better in the FA Cups. But we had enough of that. But now we're talking like it's amazing. We had enough of FA Cups. I keep the same energy. Once upon a time, I love Wenger. But Wenger,
I'm getting an echo. I don't know who from. I'm getting an echo, but
what Wenger brought, yeah. The reason I love Wenger is Wenger won me 3 Premier League titles in my lifetime, and I held the same standards at the start. Yeah, Christian. Do you know what it was? Playing a stadium. Do you know what it was after that? You can't compete because Chelsea.
Whose is that?
I don't know who's on echo.
We got everyone go on mute apart from Northside. I don't know whose it is.
Then after that, Then after that, yeah, it was we're paying the stadium off, which is why we can't compete. Then after we paid the stadium off, it was Chelsea got money. Then after Chelsea got money, it's because City got money. Then after City got money, we can't come. Oh, but Man United has still got Fergie. Then after Fergie goes, oh, City got all this money. Then it's now Pep. There's always an excuse, bro. There's always an excuse. When I grew up watching Arsenal, we weren't smashing the transfer record all the time. How did we compete? There was loads of fans like me and Lee and all that, and we were still winning. Maybe we should get back to that, because when there was more fans like that, we were winning stuff. We will get into Champions League finals. Now that everybody's doing happy clapping and everything's okay, what's going on? My family team is Benfica. It's an embarrassment. I've seen 9 league titles. Benfica, I've seen 9 league titles. I've only seen 3 for Arsenal. Don't tell me that we can't compete. We don't want our manager in at the moment, and he's level on points with Sporting Lisbon. Sporting Lisbon that slapped up flipping Man City. How can Benfica compete? Because there's accountability in Portugal. It's not just clapping for everything, bro. Where's this lack of accountability in football? If I go to my work and they start telling me, Northside, if you continue to perform like this, you're going to lose your job. None of you here, Christian, you wouldn't say that's negative. You'd say, Northside, you ain't doing your job. You're going to get the sack. What difference is that with players? They're earning way more money than me. But I get held accountable in my job. So why can't I hold my players that I'm paying money to watch, whether it's on TV? Why? Why is it different? I get held to account. I'm with my partner right now. If I don't pay the mortgage, you think she's not going to criticize me? Is it toxic and negative? If I say to her, you know what, I went to the bookies, I put money on a horse. Sorry, I ain't got the money. I gambled it all on a horse. I'm going to be criticized. In life, there's expectation. Why is it with Arsenal fans, all of a sudden, there's no expectations? There are expectations, bro. I'm sorry, we don't all watch football for free. None of us watch football for free. So why can't we have that expectation? I grew up seeing Arsenal be successful. I chose to support this club. Yeah. And this club was successful. Why should I drop the standard of that? Why? We talk about we're a big club and Spurs don't win nothing, but we're accepting not winning anything. They're the ones that were celebrating winning nothing with Poch. When Poch was getting second, you man was saying, oh, but Poch didn't win anything. He only got Champions League. So why is it different when it's Arteta? If Arteta is successful, cool. The fact that he's not successful, cuss him. We got Wenger out. Who the hell is Arteta compared to Wenger? He's a legend, regardless of how it ended, bro. He actually won us stuff. My best memories as an Arsenal fan was under Wenger, bro. And I wanted him out because you're no longer good enough for the job. Don't tell me that we can't be like that. Chelsea got a manager. They lost to Arsenal. They won the league. No excuses. Didn't need 5 years. Liverpool got self-sustaining model. They won the league. Liverpool was supposed to be behind us because we're the next ones to pick Pep. They win the league this season, bro. What are we doing here? People talking about injuries. Come on, man. I'm tired of the excuses. My anger towards Arsenal, yeah, is 20 years of this crap never changing. And I understand some fans have not been around as long as all of us. But, bro, for us that have been watching this for 20 years, last time we won the league, I was 13. I'm 32. I've had enough, man. I've had enough of the excuses because I can go through the excuses. We've paid the stadium off, bro. What's the excuse now? VAR. There's always an excuse. Chelsea, Man City, bro, win the league, bro. How did Berta do it with flipping Simeone? Are they the biggest club in Spain? They're not the biggest. They're not got the biggest pool. How's he done it? But everyone's celebrating Berta. Why don't we get Simeone then? Because he has the experience going up against clubs with more stature, more titles, and more money. But no, we have to clap for Arteta. Who's Arteta? I don't even know this guy. Who is he? Some next Spanish guy, bro. I don't care, bro. It doesn't.
Captain of Arsenal Football Club. I don't know about it. Next Spanish guy, man.
Well, yeah, but with the same energy, yeah, was everyone behind Unai Emery? No, because he didn't do his job, innit? So let's keep the same energy with this manager. Unai Emery didn't do what we needed, so we wanted him out. Cool. Keep the same energy with Arteta. Same thing. Same difference. What's the difference? They're both Spanish. They're both human, and they're both.
Let
me bring DJ and Kenny in. I've got some super chats to do, and then we'll come.
Sorry, Dan, I gotta go. But anyway, Christian,
go for it, bro.
Aimed at you. I'm just fed up of this club, bro.
Wait, don't go anywhere. Sexy time. Well, we will.
Listen, the Colombian. They say it's time.
Very nice, very nice.
When the Colombians say it's time, it's time.
It's time. Oh yeah, I'm good. You go. Yeah, I say
you
less.
go, man. You go. Nah, come on, bro. Love North.
You,
take care,
love
man.
Always,
in a bit, bro. In a bit. These ones, Lee, you can answer this. Why would Madrid want Saliba and Trent? They're mad overrated. Is that coming from a Madrid fan?
Nah. Scotty's cool.
All right.
Big up, Scotty. I'll tell you why. Yeah, because Trent's free. Yeah, and he's better than Vasquez. And this is the standards of Real Madrid. Yeah. David, yeah, was outside on the Atleti game, walking around the stadium, the first leg, asking Madrid fans outside the ground, what do you think of Vasquez on a live stream? Yeah. Get him out, he's shit. This guy's won 6 Champions Leagues. They want him gone. They booed him for 20 minutes straight after that Barca fuck up in the final. Yeah, for the first 20 minutes. Him and Tchouaméni were getting booed for the first 20 minutes. Every time they touched the ball, boo. He's won 6 Champions Leagues. They want him number 1, yeah, because he's actually, I wouldn't say he's necessarily that great defensively, but with that front three. Boy. And as for Saliba, bro, Alaba's nearly done. Rudiger's insane, yeah, but he's nearly done as well. And they've got Asenzo who's decent. But other than that, yeah, they're kind of struggling. So they need centre backs. And Saliba,
it's obvious why they want them both.
If I'm Real Madrid and I'm Papa Perez, bro, I'm buying them both. I'm just putting 170 on the same and saying, hold that. Militao is always injured, but that's why.
No, fair play. Kenny, this one's for you. Chaitanya says, party problem. Do you keep him for another year? Since he's by far our best midfielder, but then Arteta will play him at right back. How do you assess this? What do you think about Partey? There's talks of Partey and Jorginho both leaving. Do you think we'll keep Partey, Kenny?
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure we're going to keep him. I think, age is probably catching up with him. But even if age is catching up with him, he's still our best midfielder. It's quite, and it shows that our manager agrees with that point as well, because he spent £105 million on a player from West Ham, only to find out that his best number 6 was right under his nose. But in terms of Partey staying on, I don't know, because it depends how many games you're going to get for him next season, whether you'll be able to keep him fit. So you're probably going to have to, sell Partey and get someone desperately replace him. Because if you don't get anyone to replace Partey, sorry, we ain't challenged for nothing. We need a proper number 6. None of this stop being denial about Declan Rice. He's a good player. He gives us everything he's got, but he's not a number 6. He's okay as a number 8, but just get a genuine number 6. That's what I think Arsenal should do.
You don't think Rice has got a future with Arsenal then in the midfield, Kenny? No?
I never said he hasn't got a future at Arsenal, but if you think he's a number 6, then you're comparing him to what a number 6 was in 2005. In now 2025, number 6 is CDMs. If you had bullet points of what CDMs can do, I promise you, Declan Rice, there's a few things on the list that Declan Rice can't do. Therefore, he shouldn't be a number 6. Number 6, he should be controlling the midfield, dictating the play. Declan Rice does neither. What Declan Rice does well is that he's a good retriever of danger situations, and he's good. He's a good runner, and he's good defensively. But can he run a midfield? No, he can't. Is he a great passer, dictate the play? No, he bloody well can't. So therefore, he can't be a number 6. So when you guys say he's a number 6, crack on. But if we're gonna get your game, especially in Europe, when you're gonna think, yeah, we need a number 6, because we got that last year with Bayern Munich. Only we left Partey on the bench and he played Rice and Jorginho. How did that go?
And they got dog walked by Goretzka. Yeah, Toni Kroos is a number 6. Rodri's a number 6. Zubimendi in this team ain't it, mate. He's a good player, Zubimendi, but not in this team.
Well, that's what we got. That's what we got to get us top players in positions which where we need to be in the engine room. And the way, no, mate, Jonathan. Oh yeah, by the way, Jonathan, I've got a bone to pick with you. Arsenal won 2 European trophies, mate. They won the Fairs Cup in 1970 and the Cup Winners' Cup in 94. Now, I don't know what you were doing in 1970. You probably weren't born, but you surely must have heard of 94. Smith, Copenhagen, volley off the post. Did that just pass you by, mate? Or are you just trying to score points?
Listen, I definitely remember that game. That's the first of, other than the Sheffield Wednesday double, the first one that I could have celebrated. DJ, talk to me about this one. This comes in from Suj. If we got a £65 million offer for Erdegaard, would you take it? 65 mil. Go on, DJ. What you say?
Yeah, I would. I would take it. Yeah, I would take it and then go and recruit again. As much as Odegaard has done some good things since he's been at the club, no captain should rely on one player to bring the best out of him. I never saw Patrick Vieira, when Manu Petit was injured, play like
It's not one player though, is it? It's not just one player. We got both our strikers injured, Havertz and Jesus.
Yeah,
we got our best right winger out.
He's not a captain, though, is he?
Martinelli's not at the level.
He's not. What I'm saying is, Odegaard to me is not a captain. He shouldn't be captain of Arsenal Football Club.
But it's not just one player though. The entire attack has been poor.
He shouldn't be. But I mean, when he plays alongside Saka, he seems to get the best out of him, and that to me is not a captain of Arsenal Football Club. You shouldn't have to rely on one player to get the best out of you to be a captain. But getting back to the 65 million, I would. I think there are better options than Martin Odegaard. Personally, that's my personal opinion. I see what Odegaard does as a player. He holds on to the ball far too long for me. He checks back far too often. But again, it comes down to the manager trying different things with him. I mean, he's just stuck at him in one position. He's not experimented with him enough to see what he can do in various roles, and he's just played him in that number 10. To me, he's a number 8. I don't think he's a number 10. I think he'll do a better job.
I agree with that.
And again, I don't know why the manager in certain games hasn't tried him in a number 8 and put Wanyeri perhaps in a number 10 when our attacking options have been limited. Try something different. And this is what comes back to what top managers do. They experiment. They see things as stagnating and they try and experiment with different things. And if Odegaard's that talented and he's that special, see what he can do. But he hasn't. He's just stuck with the same format. But 65 million, yeah, I would take it for Odegaard, definitely. And keep my options open, what comes up.
Yeah. Say again.
Would you sell him for 65 mil?
No, I like Odegaard. This is where I disagree with the panel quite a lot on. This is probably the only things I do. I like Odegaard. I agree with DJ. I think he's an attacking 8. I don't think he's a creative number 10. I personally feel like if there's an option for us to get a Florian Wirtz or somebody for that role, I would play Odegaard in more of an attacking 8 role. And I think there's a place for him in the side still. I don't think he's my captain. He's not my leader. He's not but I'm old school. I like a Gabriel or Declan Rice. But I do like and I rate Odegaard. I think he's good. And me and Lee, we agree on quite a lot.
Sorry to interject, Dan. Yeah, what do you rate him for? Because the guy takes way too many touches. He ain't got a killer pass. Yeah, you've seen Bergkamp, Ozil, Cesc, Rosicky, Pleb, Nasri. Yeah, like we've seen some top ballers, Dan.
Sanchez, Merson.
Yeah, Alexis Sanchez, Merson.
I've always said
what makes you think because he ain't got the killer pass, Dan? He's a fair weather player that everything has to be perfect for him.
Yeah, no, I get that. And I think
Ozil had that killer, like when he wanted it. This guy don't want it ever.
And I think Ozil, Cazorla, Fabregas, Merce, all those guys are better. I've never denied that once. I always believed when I grew up, Merce was one of my favourite players alongside Wrighty. I've seen Bergkamp, I've seen Cazorla, I've seen even Ramsey. All these guys that I've seen, Cesc, they're all better than him, right? They are. They're all better than Martin Odegaard. But I think right now, what I've seen glimpses of has impressed me. This season, he's been disappointing. And I've seen him score 15 goals. I've seen him be quite creative. I've seen him be one of the better players on the pitch. What I haven't seen him do is take a game by the scruff of the neck. What I haven't seen him do is say, do you know what, you're out, I've got you. What I haven't seen him do is say, right now, Saka is the guy that we need to be looking at and he's no longer there, so I'm going to be the guy. And that's where I don't rate him. So do I want him gone and sold? No. Do I see him as part of the squad? Yes. I don't think that means I love him or think he's the best player. He's certainly nowhere near one of my favourite players, but I would keep him. And I wouldn't sell him for 65 million because I think we could get more than that personally.
Sell him for a fiver.
So that's where I'm at. Yeah, but you've never liked him, so that's you.
But Dan, he's a fouled wonder kid, mate. It's his 12th year of professional football, yeah, and he's won one trophy, and that was at Real Sociedad. And this manager also played for Sociedad, and he's trying to recreate Sociedad midfield. Like, what we're doing it. Like, honestly, mate.
Do you rate him, Hooks? Oh, the God.
I rate him as a player. Yeah, I think it's undeniable that he definitely has qualities of a good footballer. The only issue for me is that we needed a left 8, and Arteta just never put Ødegaard in the left 8 when Ødegaard is left-footed, is an actual 8, and we wouldn't have needed to spend any money. And he probably plays better in the left 8 than he does in the right. See, the weird thing as well,
I'm with you. Then I'm with you. I agree with that.
And the weird thing as well, is it's really hard to judge Ødegaard in the role that he plays, because effectively it needs to work as a 10, but Ødegaard is still given all of the responsibilities of an 8 while playing in the role that's meant to be a 10. So it's kind of hard for him to just focus on creating when he's still tasked with doing everything else. So yeah. But the one thing, and obviously I don't know about everything that he does in the background on the training pitch, in the locker room, outside of that, helping other players as captain. But the one thing that I know is on the pitch, the one thing that annoys me the most is any 50-50, he's not going 100%. And for me, as a captain, the 50-50s, you need to be 100%. I need to see you throwing your body on the line. So maybe from the captain perspective, we may need to change it. But yeah, and 65 million, I agree. I think is a bit too low, personally. And then we'll run back into the scenario of people complaining about us not having squad depth, but they want to sell Ødegaard. Why not just buy someone and then maybe relegate Ødegaard to a different position or to the bench, and then you're fixing the squad depth problem as well.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, look, I personally agree with the Ødegaard situation, and I don't think he's been good enough this season. Flashboy says we should buy Pedro Neto from Chelsea and play him on the right wing, Lee. Yeah, he's been disappointing, but I do think he's a baller. I liked him a lot as well. Brandon, big up to you, mate. True Gunners TV. Make sure you're following Brandon. Says Hooks and Christian are willing to risk our most important player who's had a long-term injury, get a reoccurring injury that could have a knock-on effect for next season to try and win a competition we've never won in our history. Yeah, he's with the guys on the panel. He says that Saka should not be risked. Big up to you, bro. Look, I've got one last question before we close, because otherwise I'm going to have another 4-hour League Gunner stream. My last question is Alexander Isak, people. As a panel, is he going to go? If so, where is he going to go? And should Arsenal just go all out for him in the summer, like Romano is saying that we're going to be trying to do? He's top of our priorities. They're saying it's going to be mad money, 100 to 150 million. That would have significant effect on our transfer window, in my opinion, knowing what Arsenal like I do. I don't think we're getting him. I think we're going to get Sesko. I think we're probably going to get Zubimendi if Sammy Mokbel and David Ornstein are correct, which they're not always. So that's the kind of summer I'm expecting. We'll just go around the panel and just have a bit of literally just 30 seconds each about what we think about our striker situation before we close. So DJ, I'll start with you, bruv.
Well, the striker situation speaks for itself. It's just been diabolical. As for Sesko, the deal should have been done when we could have bought him in the first place, instead of giving Eddie Nketiah 100 grand a week and the 14 shirt. I think that boat sailed. We ain't ever get. I think Sesko's going to stay put. I think he sees the great things that are happening at Newcastle. He can see a vision what Eddie Howe's trying to do, and they've also got cottles of money. So they're state-owned. The money's not an object. I think Sesko's staying. Personally, I think he's staying put. I don't think he's going anywhere. And Isak, sorry.
Isak, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Isak. I think Isak is staying. And as I said, we missed the boat on that. We missed the opportunity years ago. I think we'll get Sesko because it suits Arteta. Sesko is... Unfortunately, he's a project. I don't think he's a proven striker. So that's another project. So, yeah, I think that's what we're going to end up again.
I'd love to say that I disagree and we're going to go for Isak, but I do think it's going to be Sesko. Kenny, what are you saying about it? And do you think Isak's staying? Because I think Isak will stay for one more year at least with Newcastle. And then I think there might be discussions about where. If I'm honest with you, I'd fancy him to go and take over from Harry Kane or Lewandowski at Bayern Munich or Barca over Premier League move. But I could be wrong, mate. What are you saying?
Well, Isak's going to stay at Newcastle for probably another season, see how it goes next season. And, you know, you always hear Romano saying he prefers Arsenal over Liverpool. Doesn't mean he's going to come to us. But to be honest, Mick Arteta's put his eggs in the basket of Sesko. I think to get a player like Isak or a top striker, you've got to change the way we play. You've got to get the ball quicker up the field. And we don't play like that. We play intricate style. In fact, Mick Arteta's system lends more to goals being spread around the team as opposed to relying on a striker, a 30 or 40 goal striker. That's the way we play. I mean, you know, there's no evidence that, you know, that we're even after players like Isak or Osman or Gyökeres, your boy Gyökeres. It's always been Sesko or bust. So when I hear about the Isak thing, I just think, right, next, let's turn the channel over. That's how I see it. But Isak, if anything, he'll probably go Liverpool rather than us.
Oh, God, I'd hate that. Absolutely hate that if he goes Liverpool. Christian, what are you saying on this striker situation, brother, in the summer? Do you see us going all out?
I would love us to go all out. I think he's probably the best number 9 in the world, if not second to maybe Haaland. But Haaland hasn't quite been it this season. Yeah, look, if we're willing to spend 105 on Declan Rice, why not spend 130 on Isak? You know he's going to do the business unless he gets injured. There's always a risk of injury, so you can't worry about that. But look, he's 25 years old. He's probably got 5-6 years in him. Maybe he can get us over the line. Look, for me, it's 100% worth it. If not Isak, Gyökeres would be my second. I'm not quite on it with Sesko. I've watched him a lot at Leipzig. I watched him in the Euros. Just doesn't excite me, man. He's 21 years old. He's unproven. Like you say, he's a project. Maybe he comes in, maybe he's great, but he looks like a similar profile to Havertz. Maybe a bit more powerful, maybe a bit more like better ball striker. But yeah, man, Isak's the one. I think everyone thinks Isak's the one. And if we can get him, if we can break the bank and get him, go and do it.
I totally agree. Hooks, talk to me, my bro. You're normally optimistic about the summer. What are you telling me?
Do you know what? Yeah. My hope is placed in the fact that Andrea Berta is our new director of football, and this brother's got a track record of delivering strikers in it. So I can only hope that he delivers a striker of quality in it. Also, him coming in, I have the slight hope that the direction we're going to go with recruitment will be a little bit more handled by him than like driven by Arteta. Because I like to believe that someone of his acumen is not joining a club to be sidekick to Arteta. Like, he's not coming to be Robin and Arteta be Batman in it. So I think that that's a positive sign. Whether we get Isak, I don't know. My first pick would still be Gyökeres personally. Like, I have concerns around like Isak's injury proneness, and like I've seen players at Arsenal that have, like, we have bad luck with injuries. So why we would go and sign someone that's very injury prone, it just doesn't make sense to me, because we are cursed when it comes to injuries. But hey, if I can get Isak and Gyökeres, yeah, I'm happy. But you know what I mean? Let's just. I don't know, man. With this summer, I'm ignoring all of the gaslighting online. I only really comment on the reports because I have to as a content creator, but I'm not really putting my eggs into any basket this window. I just want to see what Berta delivers, and we just take it from there.
Interesting, man. Guns, I'm going to ask you a bit of a different question to close. Do we actually buy a striker? I mean, surely we're going to get a striker, but he ain't bought one yet properly. So surely we get one this summer, right?
Well, I'm just going to make sure that I get the timestamp for that. 2 hours, 8 minutes, 12 seconds. He's not putting all his eggs in the right basket, yeah, for the striker. Cool. Yeah, because we have to clip you up. We have to call you out. You and the gal, bro. The gal files, the hooks files, stinker.
Wait, what am I being clipped up for? What did I say that was?
You're not putting all your eggs in the basket of being gaslit and all that. Let's see in the summer. But anyway, I think we'll buy a striker. However, I'm totally opposite to everyone about Isak. Baller.
Yeah, 100%.
But he ain't suiting Arsenal style. We play this U-shaped crap football, yeah, We slow everything down with Odegaard. Yeah, and we're camped on the edge of a penalty box. We'd be better off with Chris Wood because at least he can score headers. Yeah, and I know Isak scored a header against us. Yeah, great cross from Gordon. We'd be better off with Dovbyk, Vlahovic, Morata, that player, that type of player. Yeah, Makiri at Mallorca, the Kosovan Ibra. Yeah, that guy. That's the type of player. I'm not going to say profile. That word means banning. And Ivan Toney, thank you. Yeah, that type of player. Ollie Watkins, Sesko, yeah, and Isak will do fuck all at Arsenal unless we change the way we play. Morata's not finished, Nelson. You troll me every day in my chat. I love you dearly, bruv. But real talk, he's won a trophy this season, which is one more than Super Duper Mick in 1,689 days now because it's gone midnight. Yeah, and he's on loan at Galatasaray and he's about to win a title, so hold that. It is what it is. We'd be better off with a player like Vlahovic and that type of player. Because unless we're going to go back to what we were doing in 22-23, yeah, if you watch Ollie Watkins, yeah, and I like Ollie Watkins, I think he's a decent player. He's not that clinical, but he's a good player. Yeah, and if you watch Isak, who's more clinical, everyone attacks Aston Villa, everyone attacks Newcastle. Most of these teams are parked on the edge of the box. Yeah, low, dirty block, and we're doing U-shaped football. What's Isak going to do? He's as skinny as me and 4 inches taller. Pause. Right? What are we doing here? Yeah, Sorloth, he'd be perfect for us.
Do you not think, though, just quickly, Lee, if we got Isak, do you not think he would go back to 22-23 style of football?
He's got PTSD, Dan. He's shook. Dan, we only do that in fits and bursts, yeah? We did that against Lons. We did it against Sheffield United, Burnley, West Ham, so on and so forth, yeah? Yeah, cool. The scoreline against Man City suggests we walloped them, yeah? No, we were just clinical that day. But 9 times out of 10, we're not clinical. Yeah, I don't think we absolutely took them apart, Man City. However, we were very clinical. We're not clinical. Yes, he may help with that. Yeah, Gyökeres, I actually think would suit Arsenal better than Isak. But at the same time, I don't watch Portuguese football. Northside does, so maybe he's better to ask. How many headers does he score? When I've watched Sorloth all season, yeah, and last season, I ain't seen him scoring a fuck ton of headers. And in Spain, everyone plays football. They go back. It's a table tennis match. They all try and win. Look at the state of the Premier League, bro. The 3 teams that are at the bottom of the league are an absolute fucking disgrace. Yeah, Luton are about to get relegated again. They came up for the dough. Right? So if we go and spend 120, 130, 140, we'd be better off with Harry Kane. Yeah, and I'll take Harry Kane in a heartbeat at Arsenal.
That's a good shout. Yeah.
If you're going to go and do 120 on Isak, go and do the 120 on Harry Kane. No, I don't care how it is.
Apparently, he's available for like, I think it's 65 million euros.
54, yeah.
Yeah, go buy him then. Go above the release clause, you put it on the drip, like tick and all that shit. Yeah, go and get him. I don't care how old he is. That guy is a top baller that has had poor career choices. Yeah, Isak ain't going to do shit for us. The way we play now, he ain't doing nothing. So
it's interesting because Harry Kane with a release clause of 54 million at the age of just 30, I would want on, or is it 31? I don't know. But either way, I would be 100% happy with that. People hate it because he was at Tottenham. It would be so funny, wouldn't it? If
he's a junior for us. He's a junior for Arsenal. He's one of the best strikers in Europe.
31 is. He's 32 in July.
I'll take him in a heartbeat.
So I would take him 100%.
We should have put money on the table. We should, when they bid 80 million quid and they got him for 80 million quid, we should have told Daniel Levy, there's 120.
Exactly.
That motherfucker.
I said go and get Kane when he went up for sale. We got laughed
Put 120 on the table, 40 above. Now Kane's got a choice. Yeah, and he'll go flipping out. Yeah, okay, cool. Go buy and I could win. But I don't need to move. I live around the corner.
This is sex stories have got to stop, really, because it's just pie in the sky stuff. He ain't coming to Arsenal. It's all.
I don't think he's leaving, DJ, this summer. I really don't. I think Newcastle will add quality, and like the Saudi owners come out and said he ain't going anywhere.
I'm not being funny, Dan, but this manager's got the 2 cup finals. He's lifted a trophy. He got them into the Champions League.
Robbed as well. Never a penalty against PSG. Mbappe dived.
Yeah, with no money spent, he was unlucky against PSG. Why on earth is he going to come to a club where we've finished runners-up 5 years running. That makes no difference whether you finish runners-up or fourth. You win nothing. Why is he going to come? Why is he going to come? Why is he going to come to Arsenal? Is it because it's the Arsenal? Is it because of our history? Is it because that's what we're living off of? We've got no divine right to sell these, to buy these players. We haven't done anything.
DJ, the only way we buy players is overpay for them. Yeah, Calafiori was on 12 grand a week at Bologna. We put him 10 times his wages at Arsenal in his first season.
Jesus.
Yeah, Mikel Marino was on 50 grand a week. Yeah,
no,
50 grand a week at
worse, 30 million at Man City when he's on 150.
20 grand a week Zinchenko was on. We put him straight on 150. 20 grand and we put him straight on 150. Yeah, Mikel Marino, 32 million quid, there or thereabouts. Yeah, right, and he was on 50 grand a week at them at Sociedad. He's now on 130. Yeah, we have to overpay for shit.
Why do we do that?
Bro, you could go through the whole squad and go and have a look what they were on before. Dan, I've done this on the stream and people think
I did it with you. I remember.
I think I'm crazy, Dan. The fact is,
was the one that got me.
You got Kai Havertz on 280 grand. I mean, say no more. Look,
yeah, he's on the same as our two centre backs combined.
Ben, I know you want to wrap up, but when you've got a manager that thinks the Charity Shield is a major trophy, then there's red flags. I'm sorry. I'll say no more. I'm saying no more. You wouldn't get men like George Graham, Arsene Wenger, and people like that calling the Charity Shield a major trophy, a major honours.
No, I agree with you.
He's waffling. He's waffling more and more and more every time he gets behind the mic, and we'll see. I personally, I'm with Lee. I personally want him to have all the players he wants in the summer.
Yeah,
let him see what he does with them. And
get
then see what
Nico Williams, Isak, Zubamendi.
Yeah, and let's see what the excuses are come this time next year.
Well, it'll be interesting if we do have a war chest, as they call it, because then that will be £1 billion spent by Mikel. So
the excuse will be Man City got bus case. Yeah, Newcastle are going to spend a fuck ton of money. Yeah, because they're waiting in the wings to see how that goes. Yeah, and that's going to come out, Pauls. Yeah, in the next couple of days. Yeah. Or next week or so, they're going to go shopping in the summer. Yeah, their talent idea, that manager, by the way, yeah, is light years clear of ours. He's had that job 2 years less than Arteta. He's got to one final more than him, qualified for champs 1 time less than him, right? And, he's won the same amount of trophies with Newcastle. And he spent, guess what, guys? Guess what? He spent 400 million less.
It's worrying, mate. It's worrying.
And big up Tao in the chat as well. Infamous creations.
Really,
Bless up Tao every time. My G, bro. Always.
Big up, Tao. I hope you're well, bro. I hope you're well, my bro. Look, we're going to end there, people. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, yeah? There's nowhere near enough likes on this, man. We've had almost just under 2,000 people watching the majority of this show, which is absolutely mad. So please make sure you hit the like button. This show is becoming more and more popular. Big up to DJ. Big up to Kenny Ken as always. Make sure you're following
Thank you very much. Cheers, guys.
Come on, man.
Always.
Make sure you're following Kenny. Follow Kenny. Make sure Aaron's putting all of the guys' channels and all of the guys' social media in the chat. Big up to Aaron, absolute ledge every time. Make sure you're following Kenny Ken on Instagram. Make sure you're following Lee Gunner and Lee Reacts. Both those channels, you'll see a lot of content from Lee. Make sure you're following Halftime Hooks. Let's get him up to the next target, please. You'll see him on YouTube and everything. Socials, TikTok, a lot. And Christian as well. Make sure you're following Christian Tide. Does a lot on Instagram and TikTok as well. So make sure you're doing that. A lot of short form content from Christian as well. It's always great stuff. So make sure you go follow all of these guys. Really do appreciate them all. And thank you for your super chats. Make sure you go and check out Football Prizes, who are sponsoring this tonight. And we'll see you tomorrow. Take it easy, people. We're out of here.